Hey guys, and welcome back to the Peteytown Piranhas, a college football 26 team builder dynasty. In this episode, we're going to be going through year 11 of the program, and just a refresher from last episode. Basically, from now on, we are going to be going through a full season in each episode, and that'll just include recruiting updates, of course, and other updates. And then for gameplay itself, still going to be the same. I'm still going to be slow simming games and all that, and the gameplay rules from when I can step in are still the same. The only difference is that for the games themselves, I'll only be really doing like highlights, like scoring plays, turnovers, sacks, and all that kind of good stuff, just to get through them quickly, but still give you an idea of what's happening in the games and everything. And then if games happen to be close, then I'll show a little bit more towards the end of how they really unfold. And then I'll also show when I have to step in, if I have to step into games. So that'll be pretty much the basics of what's going on here. But now we're going to just look at the schedule, then we're going to meet the team, then we're going to do the recruiting board, and then we'll get into the season. Here are the opponents for the Peteytown Piranhas this year. We're going to start with our rivalry game against Syracuse, then we're going to play Utah, and then return to the SEC roots with Ole Miss. And then we're going to enter Big Ten play with Iowa, have a bye week, then take on Illinois, travel to Nebraska, and then travel to Indiana. Then we're going to host Michigan State, who we've had history with already. Then we're going to travel to Wisconsin. Then we're going to take on Ohio State and USC and Duke to close out the season. The Piranhas will enter this season ranked number 2 in the country with a team overall of 99 and 99s across the board, and our best player is also 99 overall with cornerback Jadarius Fattencoon. Trying to fill the shoes of the departed Byron Talib at quarterback will be redshirt sophomore Lee O'Haleti, who we're very excited about with his elite development. At halfback will be senior transfer George Valdez, and he'll be the main guy with the ball, but you also have Romeo Willingham to watch out for, and really my plan with the backs is to kind of rotate them in, kind of have a more hands-on approach to that, just make sure that George can make it through the season, because right now he's filling all the halfback spots, but just want to make sure other guys are getting involved and giving George a little rest here and there. Darrell Lawrence returns at fullback for us. At wide receiver, you got Isaiah Matlock and Keyshawn Jasso, and then when Keyshawn goes into the slot, you have Ahmad Noah filling in on the outside with his 6'5", 205 frame, and I'm sure Taylor Brommel will make his impact felt. At tight end, we're returning superstar Max Martino, who ended up finishing second in the Heisman race last season, and we're hoping he can do more of the same this year for us. I'm expecting our offensive line to be a strength again this season, as left tackle Keyshawn Crook will be protecting the blind side for Lee O'Haleti. Then at left guard, you got Juan Uridia, who's our best overall offensive lineman. And then at center, I'm actually going to have tackle Parker Voss fill in here because he's just too good to not have on the field. And he's normally a left tackle, but you can see with the tactician boost, he's up to a 97 at that position. So really want him on the field to be just helping our offensive line out. And then at right guard, you're going to have Hakeem Ezi. And then filling out at right tackle will be Corbin Gruber. Moving over to defense, you got left edge Ben Schroeder, and then coming off the right edge will be Nate Sisko. And then at the defensive tackle spot, you got star guys Derek Burr and Ross Moore. And you have Mateo Polanco, who will also come in different spots. For our linebackers, you're going to have Bobby Younger, and then John Woodhead is going to fill in for different situations with nickel packages and other passing kind of packages on defense. And then at the Mike linebacker, you're going to have Clifton Brown, and at the other linebacker spot will be Laron Weineke. At cornerback, it will be that man, Jadarius Fattencoon, and Johnny Whitaker, the Jim Thorpe Award winner from last year. And Johnny will also be the slot guy, and that's when Andy Wilkins will come in on the outside. On the surface, at free safety, it's a step down to Ben Hemphill from what we've had in the past, but he does have incredible athleticism, so I think he's going to be just fine back there. Then at strong safety, you're going to have Donnie Haynes, and in different plays, you're going to have Randy Felton coming in. Our kicker, Josh Grudadaria, is now coming back for his junior season, and he's just getting better and better, so I'm expecting a lot from him. And at punter will be freshman Tyler Rios. Very excited about our initial recruiting board because we found 9 gems, and Ezekiel Bird is one of those off the left edge with great athleticism for the position and 84 power moves. Then you go down for Devin Odrick. He's got off-the-charts athleticism with 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 94 agility. And then free safety Kai Hamrick. You're sensing a theme here with the athleticism, as he has 96 speed and 93 acceleration. Another gem will be right edge Tremaine Wolf, and he's got solid athleticism with 84 speed and 89 acceleration, but what really attracted me to him was those 88 finesse moves. Another gem is wide receiver Emmanuel Sambrelo, and he's got good athleticism, but his route running is just off the charts, and you'd better be as a route artist. And he's also got that silver cutter ability, so would really like to add him, and he's got good size for a route artist at 6 feet 163. Gem strong safety Raymond Fisher is a hybrid guy, and you can see it with that 79-man, 72 zone, so a little do-it-all. He's also got good athleticism with 93 speed and 90 acceleration. Salisi Hwang is the third edge gem that we found in this class so far, and he might be a little bit below the other guys' ratings, but I think he's still a good add if we can get him. Another gem strong safety is Anthony Spielman, and he's got good athleticism and good zone coverage at 80, and he's also got gold robber already. The final gem we found is wide receiver Roland Crouch, and those gadget guys, I really like bringing them on, and he's got 93 speed and 92 acceleration. Some other interesting guys, you got Javier Perkins, a dual threat quarterback, and the thing that really sticks out is that 95 throw power. The other 5 stars we have on the board are right tackle Emmett McMillan with his great pass blocking abilities, and then cornerback Zach Ball, who's got decent athleticism and 81 zone coverage. The rest of the board is basically 4-star guys who look intriguing to me, and guys that I think we'd be able to get to fill out the roster here, but just going through them a little bit here, and I think this would be a good class if we're able to get the majority of these guys. After moving forward to week 1, unfortunately, Anthony Spielman has locked us out already, so just going to have to take him off the board and lock in on these other guys. Looking at where we are at week 1, we're in pretty good position for some of these guys. Just going down the list, got to do some work on Emmanuel Sambrelo, but only got 2 other offers, so maybe we can pull into that battle. Then Raymond Fisher, we're getting up there. We're at 9th place right now, but there's a lot of teams going after him, so this one might be very difficult. Looking at the rest of the guys, we're in pretty decent shape. We're right in the thick of things with these other teams for all these guys, so I think we're in good position, and we got at least 40 points on everybody, so we can hard sell them, and we got the 50 extra points now after losing our other guys, so I think we're in pretty good spot right now. So the quest for back-to-back national championships begins here against our rival Syracuse, and we're going to travel to them, and they got a 77 overall compared to our 99, so hoping that the Piranhas can start this season off with a bang. Going with the play to George Valdez, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to be in the end zone for the first time this season on their first possession, and we are going to go up 7-0 on Syracuse. And we are separating from them, and we are going to get into the end zone nicely. Good patience from Lee O'Haleti to get it out to his man, and we are going to go up 14-0 on our rivals Syracuse, all thanks to Taylor Brommel making that catch. And there's going to be a sack by the Piranhas, and we are going to recover the fumble. Great play by us. Ross Moore getting that fumble recovery. I believe it was Derek Burr on the forced fumble. I'll check that when the name pops up here, but the defense is going to put our offense in great position at the 22-yard line. Ben Schroeder was the one who forced it loose on the sack. Over the middle, it's going to be George Valdez getting this catch from Lee O'Haleti, and that's going to be George's second touchdown of the day, this time through the air, and the Peteytown Piranhas are looking good in the first quarter as we're already up 21-0. Up the middle, it's going to be a sack by Ross Moore, and it forces a fumble, but they are able to pick it back up. And it is going to be another forced fumble on a sack, and the Piranhas are going to pick it up. It's Ross Moore on the recovery, and he gets it down into the 10-yard line. So whenever we've been getting back there with our sacks, we're forcing that ball loose, and it's been 2 fumble recoveries off of those strip sacks so far for the defense, and we're setting up our offense beautifully once again. Right up the middle, George Valdez has some room. He has a nice spin move, and George Valdez has his 3rd touchdown of the game. So this guy is really making an impact in his first game with us, as we're up 28-0, and we haven't even gotten out of the first quarter yet. Another sack for the Peteytown Piranhas as Ben Schroeder comes around the edge for another one today. It's going to be Lee O'Halletti right up the middle for this touchdown run. Our offense just matriculated downfield there using a nice mix of pass and run, and it's going to be finished off by our quarterback to go up 35-0. George Valdez off a stretch play gets the hole opened up in a block downfield, and would you believe 4 touchdowns in his Piranhas debut as we're going to go up 42-0. With just a couple seconds remaining, the offense has moved into field goal range for Josh Grudadaria. He's going to put this one up, and it is good. So the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up 45-0 by the end of the first half. And we'll see. I might just start pulling starters soon, but don't expect too many more highlights for this one. Just complete and utter domination by the Piranhas so far. Here is going to be a sack for the Peteytown Piranhas as Johnny Whitaker comes in from the slot spot to get that one. And here's going to be a touchdown toss from Lee O'Halletti to Ahmad Noel. Just a little flick of the wrist on the RPO slant. We're going to go up 52-0, and officially I'm going to take these starters out now and give room for the backups to get some shine. So the Piranhas start this year off with a bang as they get a 65-7 victory over their rival Syracuse in the Big Apple Brawl. Just really no complaints from this one, obviously, and Lee O'Halletti in his debut as a starter was absolutely wonderful, so just loving what I'm seeing from the Piranhas to start this season off. Running through the numbers against Syracuse, we had 524 yards to their 197, and 212 of our yards were on the ground with 4 rushing scores, and they had 8. We were effective through the air too, as we had 312 yards to their 189, and we were 11 of 13 on 3rd down while they were 2 of 11. We kept it clean in the turnover department as we forced 3 on Syracuse. Lee O'Halletti was very effective in his starting debut as he had 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks, and he wasn't sacked at all. And Barry Benedict came in and got 32 yards and a touchdown pass. A scintillating debut for George Valdez as a Piranha as he had 15 carries, 79 yards, and 3 rushing scores, while Lee O'Halletti got 5 for 58 and a rushing touchdown. Isaiah Matlock led us in receiving with 8 catches and 72 yards, while Max Martino had 9 for 69, nice, and Ahmad Noel had 5 for 63 and a touchdown. George Valdez was effective here as well with 4 catches, 41 yards, and a touchdown, bringing his total touchdowns to 4. Then you had Taylor Brommel with the backups getting a 23-yard score, and Romeo Willingham getting a touchdown through the air. Randy Felton led the Piranhas defense in tackles with 7. The Piranhas came up with 9 sacks on defense today as Ben Schroeder got 2. Then we got 1.5 each from Mitchell Dawsey and Juan Santiago. Then you got 1 apiece for Artis Rousseau, Johnny Whitaker, and Ross Moore. Then you had half a sack each for Derek Burr, Mateo Polanco, and Vernon Hicks. With the backups, Eric Ulrich got our only pick of the day. We ended up getting 3 forced fumbles today as Ross Moore, Ben Schroeder, and Mateo Polanco each got 1. And then 2 of them were picked up by Ross Moore. And then Josh Grudadaria hit all 3 of his field goal attempts with a long of 46. We have 2 recruits in the top 5 stage right now, and both of them are Mike linebackers, as Kane McCarthy currently in first place for us, and Matt Jurgensen also in first place. And the fun thing for both of them is that we have their hard sells. You can see for Matt it's aspirational goals, and for Kane it's conference legend. In our next game, we'll be traveling to Utah to take on the Utes, and they're 76 overall, and they won their first game, so really got to make sure that we stay focused in this road game. Max Martino is going to get open on the crossing route and put up the first points of this one for the Peteytown Piranhas. On our first drive, we get the first points of the game to go up 7-0. And we're going to hit a big play to Max Martino. What a strike from Lee O'Haleti to get to their side of the 50. Big pass play to Max Martino has gotten us inside the 10. And now we're going to try to go for it on 4th down and 2. Lee O'Haleti is looking for somebody. He's throwing a dart to the end zone, but it is going to be intercepted by Utah. So that big play is going to go for naught. Just trying to risk it all on 4th down, but it's not going to go our way. And Utah's getting a big run from their running back here as he's running down the sideline, and we got to chase him down, and he gets all the way to the 15-yard line. Utah setting up for their field goal attempt here, and he is going to put up the kick, and Utah is on the board to make it 7-3. This one is floated to Isaiah Matlock off the slant, and that is going to get us a nice chunk to get into their territory. Lee O'Haleti is going to find Isaiah Matlock, and he's going to get us to the 1. So big play by Isaiah Matlock is going to set up our offense right at the 1-yard line, and we are just going to throw the slant right over to him, and Isaiah Matlock rightly finishes off this drive with a touchdown reception. We're going to go up 14-3. So the Piranhas have matriculated down the field nicely to set up a field goal by Josh Rudadaria to close out this first half. He puts up the kick, and it is through, but Utah's going to commit a penalty on this one, but with where we're at, we might just accept this one, so let's see what Petey Previtt decides to do. And Petey Previtt is just going to accept the results of the kick, and we're going to go up 17-3 right before the end of the half, as they're going to run out this kick to close out the final couple of seconds. And the Peteytown Piranhas are going to find Max Martino in the end zone on the pass from Lee O'Haleti. Our offense really dinked and dunked on that drive to get it downfield inside their 5, and we're able to capitalize with the touchdown to go up 24-3 on the Utah Utes.
No more penalties and no more turnovers.
And we are going to get in for the sack as Nate Sisko and Ben Schroeder combine in there to bring him down. A toss to the outside, and it is going to be caught by Keyshawn Jasso for the touchdown. What a great touch pass from Lee O'Haleti to get it over the defenders and right over the shoulder of Keyshawn. And the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up 31-3 on the Utah Utes. And pressure up the middle as he's going to be sacked, and then we're going to recover the fumble. So Ross Moore gets in there for the sack, and he also recovers the fumble that he caused. And the Peteytown Piranhas are going to take over on the Utah 37-yard line. Over the middle, we're trying to hit Max Martino, but unfortunately Lee O'Haleti is going to throw the interception as their man stuck with Max, and we can't take advantage of the fumble as they get a turnover right back on us. Utah trying to go for it here on 4th down and 12, nothing else to lose, and he's going to throw this one outside, and it's going to find an open man, and he gets it past our 50. This time Utah's at our 10-yard line on a 4th down with 4th and 4. He's dropping back, and we got a little spin move out there on the defensive line, and that's going to force a quick throw as Andy Wilkins intercepts that one in the end zone and returns it all the way out to the 27-yard line. So great stop by the defense. Following the interception, our offense is going to be stopped, and at this point in the game, with a 28 lead and 6 minutes left, I'm going to let the backups come in, and I'll see you guys at the end. So the Piranhas cruise to a 38-3 victory in Utah today. Just clicking on all cylinders. Our defense had one drive where they let something up, but the rest of the time they were shut down, and our offense was efficient outside of a couple of turnovers. The Piranhas had 438 yards to Utah's 199, and we had 88 yards on the ground and a touchdown while they had 74. We got to 350 passing yards while they got 125, and we were 5 of 8 on third down while they didn't convert at all on 0 for 9. And both teams had 2 turnovers in this one. Leo Haletti had 327 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 picks, and one of the picks was on a 4th down that I thought we probably could have just kicked a field goal on, but it is what it is. And then he was sacked once. On the rushing side of things, George Valdez had 13 carries for 55 yards, while Nick Fry came in with the backups and got himself a short rushing touchdown. Max Martino was his Heisman candidate self with 14 catches, 155 yards, and 2 touchdowns, while Isaiah Matlock had 8 for 77 and a touchdown. Keyshawn Jasso also added 3 catches, 36 yards, and a touchdown. Bobby Younger was the tackle man today as he had 7 tackles with 2 for a loss. Couple of sacks for the Piranhas today as Ross Moore got in for 1, and he also recovered the fumble that he forced on it. And then Ben Schroeder had half a sack along with Nate Sisko. Andy Wilkins had that nice interception in the end zone that prevented them from scoring. Didn't ask much of Josh Grudedaria today as he hit his only attempt for 25 yards. Few more guys have entered their top 5 stage as Ezekiel Bird's in first place. And then scrolling down, you got Roland Crouch, who we have over Michigan. And then Zach Ball is in a tight race with the other schools, with Penn State right behind us. And then Chip Genus also in a close battle with Ohio State breathing down our neck. And we already know about these guys, but Kane and Matt are well in first place now. And then we got Warren Newcomb with a tight battle with Virginia Tech. And all the way at the bottom, you got Richard Yolito, who's in second place for us. But the good news for all these guys is that we have their hard sells this week, so that can help boost us up. The Piranhas are going to host their first game at the Piranha Tank this season, as we're going to face off against old SEC foe Ole Miss with their 96 overall and 1-1 record. And for the first possession, we are going to get kicked off the field after that sack from Ole Miss. And their quarterback is going to scramble away from the pressure and find a lane into the end zone. So after they stopped us on the first possession, they started this drive on our side of the 50, and they were able to take advantage of that field position, and we are going to trail for the first time this season. And Ben Schroeder is going to get in there off the play action to get the sack. Oh boy, and Ole Miss is going to get pressure right up the middle on Leo Haletti to bring him down for another sack in this game. And Leo Haletti is going to fire to the end zone on the sideline, and Max Martino kept his feet in, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to survive that sack and tied up this ball game at 7-7. And Ole Miss is getting a big run here as their running back got a gap and a juke move to get it to the 32. And a big rush from the Peteytown Piranhas as Derek Burr gets back there for the sack. Ole Miss got that chunk run to get into scoring position, but Derek Burr made sure they didn't get any further as they put this field goal up, and it hits off the upright, and it is no good. So Ole Miss, all that nonsense and crazy stuff for nothing. Trying a deep ball, and it's going to be caught by Ahmad Noel, and Ahmad Noel is racing down the sidelines into the end zone for the Peteytown Piranhas. Great read by Leo Haletti. Looked like a little option route off an RPO. Ahmad Noel took him deep, and they just could not keep up with him. Big play for the Peteytown Piranhas. And it's going to be intercepted by the Piranhas as Ole Miss tried a deep ball of their own, but we denied them that one as Ben Hemphill comes away with it to get it to the 22-yard line. It's going to be a slant to Isaiah Matlock, and he is going to score the touchdown for the Peteytown Piranhas. Nice toss from Leo Haletti, and we take advantage of that interception from Ben Hemphill to go up 21-7. Here's going to be a sack for the Piranhas on the first play of the second half as Nate is going to get in there to bring him down. And another sack as Derek Burr is going to get in there again. Back-to-back sacks for the Piranhas to start this half. And can you say 3 in a row, as we're going to get a safety here, as Nate is going to get in there along with Ben Schroeder. That's going to be Nate Sisko. I keep saying Nate because I can't remember his last name sometimes, but it's going to be Nate Sisko, and keep making plays like that, I'll remember Sisko. And Ben Schroeder also in on that one.
They've been able to put up a lot of points and have a really nice lead in this one. And now back
To the outside, it's Max Martino making the catch and breaking the tackle for the Piranhas as he's in the end zone again. And the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up 30-7 on Ole Miss.
They'll throw on 3rd and short.
And over the middle, he tries to hit his receiver, but Bobby Younger is there, and Bobby Younger is making a big return. He's going to get it all the way to their 25-yard line. So some excellent coverage from Bobby there, fooling their quarterback. We're going to take over in great field position. And it's going to be Max Martino yet again in the end zone as we hit him on that crosser we love. And the Peteytown Piranhas are just taking an absolutely incredible 37-7 lead. Josh Grudadaria out to attempt a field goal here, and he's going to put it up. And he is going to split the uprights to make it a 47-ball game, and it's time for these backups to come in. So Ole Miss gets a touchdown to make themselves feel a little better, but we still got a very nice 40-14 win over them. Just good team win from the Piranhas, and they're starting this season looking very, very good. The Piranhas outgained Ole Miss 347-255, while we had 79 yards rushing, and they had 29 with 2 touchdowns. In the air, we had 268 to their 226, while we were 4 of 9 on 3rd down, and they were 5 for 14. The offense managed to keep it away from Ole Miss, while we were able to force 2 turnovers on them. Lee O'Haleti with an absolutely surgical game today, as he had 261 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and he was sacked twice. Spread things around in the running game today, and Romeo Willingham led us with 6 carries and 32 yards. Ahmad Noel, only 2 catches on the game, but he made them count as he had 72 yards and a touchdown on that long 66-yarder. And Max Martino had 7 for 57 and 3 touchdowns. And can't forget about Isaiah Matlock getting 4 for 40 and a touchdown. Bobby Younger and Randy Felton led us with 6 tackles on defense. Derek Burr got 2 sacks in this one, while Nate Sisko and Ben Schroeder each got 1.5. Bobby Younger and Ben Hemphill both got interceptions that they got nice returns on to set up our offense. And they gave credit to Nate Sisko for the safety. This time, Josh Grudadaria had to put a little leg into his kick, and he made a 50-yarder. Our hard sell has helped Ezekiel Bird get a nice lead over UConn, while Kai Hamrick has entered the top 5, and we got him on a hard sell. It's going to be hometown hero for him. And then scrolling down to Salisi Hwang, only USC is going after him, and they have that Tier 4 pipeline, so want some guys to start committing so I can get some points to free up for a visit for him. And then for Roland Crouch, the hard sell got us a little lead over Michigan now. Got him on a Week 6 visit to help with that. And then Emmett McMillan has a nice lead over Michigan for us, and we have him on his hard sell as well. Another guy visiting on Week 6 will be Zach Ball, but our hard sell helped get a nice lead over Penn State, but we probably will need that visit as they got that Tier 5 pipeline. As for Chip Genis, we got his hard sell to help us get an edge over Ohio State, and Kane McCarthy's in his top 3 and hopefully will commit to us with the Pitt having that Week 5 visit, so hopefully he doesn't get a chance for that. Then Matt Jurgensen's also in his top 3 and very close to committing, so hopefully he does that soon so we can free up some points. Casey O'Neill did not give us his hard sell right away, and he's the first guy we got a double soft sell on. Warren Newcomb's hard sell worked very well, so we got a little edge over Ohio State. And then Zay Garvin here's got a lead over Iowa, and we got him on a double soft sell as well. Then go down to Shakir Paris. Nobody else is going after him, so we got him on a hard sell. That's going to help us. And then for Greg Biggers, he's got a little lead over Tennessee at the moment. And we have him on his double soft sell, and we're hoping it's aspirational goals. And then finally, Richard Yolito still in second place, but a hard sell is helping us maintain ourselves with our race against Penn State for him. Now it's time to get ready for our first Big Ten game as a member of the Big Ten Conference, and that will be against Iowa with their 85 overall and 3-0 record. And a little bit of a history watch for the Piranhas as we are on the cusp of winning our 20th straight game, so if we can manage to do that today, we will have that milestone in our pocket.
This week, getting this running back going was step number one.
And Nate Sisko is going to get them down for a sack of 7 yards, and we really needed that as Iowa started this game with a very good run game, so on a passing play there, we're able to take advantage. Leo Haletti is going to take this one up the middle, and that is going to be a touchdown for the Peteytown Piranhas. So build off the momentum of our stop on defense to open the game, and the offense is going to help us go up 7-0. Trying to run to the outside to convert a 3rd and inches, and Iowa is not going to get there as they try an outside run. After the defense holds on that 3rd and inches, Iowa's got to put up a field goal here. And they are going to put it through so they get a little bit closer as it's now 7-6. Or 7-3, sorry. And we're getting a big return up the middle. Taylor Brommel almost breaks one free as he gets it past the 50. Wide open, Keyshawn Jasso is going to make that catch and get it right outside of their red zone. 3rd and goal, Leo Haletti tries to run it in himself, but he's going to be stopped, so we are going to settle for a field goal attempt here from Josh Rudadaria, and he is going to put up a 18-yard kick, and it is through, so the Peteytown Piranhas take advantage of the big return from Taylor Brommel and a nice play from Keyshawn Jasso on 3rd down, and we're going to go up 10-3. And coming around the edge is going to be Nate Sisko. Ben Schroeder gets his hands on him as well. And the Peteytown Piranhas are going to get a big sack there. The sack helps us force Iowa into a field goal attempt here as it's going to be a 40-yarder for their kicker. He puts this one up, and it is through, so Iowa is going to make this one 10-6. And Ross Moore is going to bring him down along with Nate Sisko off the edge. So we get that pressure from the middle and from the edge there to bring him down for a 7-yard loss. Trying a deep ball in the end zone, and it's going to be tipped by Iowa, and they are going to make that interception. Not really a great decision for Leo Haletti there. We're in field goal position, but trying to risk it there has led to a turnover. Off the edge, here comes Ben Schroeder, and he's going to bring down their quarterback. Another 7-yard loss in this game, and our pass rush has really been fearsome in this one. Leo Haletti is going to throw an interception where he had a ton of green grass in front of him to run with it, but instead he tried to force it to a receiver, and Iowa's guy was standing right there. One guy covering 2 players, and he threw it right to the guy in the black jersey. Up the middle, Ross Moore is going to get in there for another sack, our 5th on the game. Iowa worked it back to the 50-yard line, and it's going to be a 67-yard field goal attempt. And it is going to be no good. So if he made that, that would have been the craziest field goal I've ever seen in my life. And we're going to get a strike to Isaiah Matlock, and he is going to outrun their defenders. And on our first possession of the second half, we get a strike from Leo Haletti, and Isaiah Matlock finishes it off to make it 17-6. And right up the middle, we're going to get a sack here, and he tried a little motion to fake us out, but that's not going to work on our defense as we push him back 6 yards. More pressure as we're going to get a fumble, and Nate Sisko got in there for the 3rd time today, and he forced that fumble, but Iowa's going to recover it. Keyshawn Jasso making a very nice move there off the bubble screen, and he's going to get a nice chunk play. Keyshawn gets us close here, but we're going to have to settle for a Josh Grudadaria field goal, and he is going to put that one through, and we're going to go up 2 touchdowns on Iowa as we're up 20-6. And that's going to be intercepted by the Peteytown Piranhas. What an insane play from us. Nate Sisko is the one who was able to corral that for the interception and return it for a touchdown. Just incredible pressure up front by our defensive line caused that throw, and he's just trying to throw that one into the dirt. It bounces off a helmet and right into the arms of Nate Sisko. What a wild play. And right up the middle, Iowa's going to get a sack. That was instant. I almost didn't even see it happen. That was crazy fast from Iowa. Sack is going to lead to a 43-yard field goal attempt for Josh Grudadaria. And he's going to send this one, and it is going to hit that net. And the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up 30-6. 4th and 3 for Iowa, a last-ditch attempt to try to get back into this ball game, and it is not going to work out as Ben Schroeder was out there making some nice coverage. Leo Haletti calling his own number there, and he is going to get into the end zone for the Peteytown Piranhas. And with a 31-point deficit and 5 minutes left in this one, I'm just going to let the backups ride this one out. So that's 20 straight victories for the Peteytown Piranhas, as we're going to win 37-6 over Iowa and also get our first Big Ten win in the process. And we did it in very convincing style. And I'm looking forward to how we continue, especially with this pass rush looking as great as it has been early on. Almost 200 yards separated the Piranhas and the Hawkeyes today, as we had 413 to their 214. We had 88 of those on the ground with 2 touchdowns, and they had 48 on the ground. For passing, we had 325 to their 166. We had 2 turnovers to Iowa's 1, but in better news for us, I love that in the second half, we outscored them 27-0. Leo Haletti had a bit of a struggle through the air today, but he still managed 325 yards and a touchdown, but he had 2 interceptions that were questionable at best. Then he was sacked once. Despite those passing struggles, Lee did have an effective day on the ground, as he had 9 carries for 48 yards and 2 touchdowns, while George Valdez was quiet with 10 for 21. Keyshawn Jasso was effective today with 7 catches and 99 yards, while Isaiah Matlock had 6 for 88 and a touchdown, and Max Martino had 8 for 79. Bobby Younger was making plays all over the place, as he had 11 tackles and 2 for a loss and half a sack. It was an 8-sack day for the Piranhas on defense, as Nate Sisko got 3 and Ross Moore got 2. Then you got Ben Schroeder with 1.5, and then 1 apiece for Dylan Boone and Juan Ivey, and then we mentioned that half a sack by Bobby Younger. And who could forget that insane play by Nate Sisko, where he got the ball, just said, "Look what I got here," and returned it for 2 yards for a pick 6. Nate was also able to force a fumble in this one, but we did not recover it, but just got to give Nate a shout out for an overall incredible day from him. And Josh Grudadario was called on a bit more today, but he made all 3 of his field goals with a long of 43. And we got our first commit of the recruiting cycle, with Mike linebacker Kane McCarthy joining us. And another Mike linebacker, Matt Jurgensen, will also be joining the Piranhas. And of course, you had to give Nate Sisko the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week after that dominant performance. And Nate Sisko won National Defensive Player of the Week, and it was simply one of the most incredible defensive performances we've ever seen a guy have as a Piranha. Cornerback Devin Odrick is finally in his top 5, and we're trying to battle out USC for him with this hard sell. Tremaine Wolf has also entered his top 5, and we got a few teams with pipeline tiers on him, and West Virginia is currently in second behind us, but we do have his hard sell. At first glance, it looks like Salisi Hwang is in a big lead, and currently he is, but USC's got that tier 4 pipeline, so we've already got his hard sell working, and I decided to put him on a week 9 visit to try to help out. Emmett McMillan's also going to get a week 9 visit treatment, as we got a good lead, but we got higher tier opponents opponents coming after him. And so with that visit, we're going to put him on there with Greg Biggers. I'm feeling pretty good about defensive tackle Chip Genus. Even though Ohio State's closing in on him, we still got the higher pipeline, and their visits are way far away. So feeling pretty good about Chip. For Casey O'Neill, he had the double soft sell going, but after that, we were able to find out his hard sell was standard bearer. Also had a double soft sell going for Zay Garvin, and that's been changed to a hard sell for Gamer. But then we go down to Greg Biggers, who's got the Week 9 visit, as I mentioned. He also had the double soft sell going, but unfortunately his hard sell was the one with the D grade, so just going to have to live with that. Not looking good for Richard Yolito, as Penn State's got him on that Week 9 visit, and that's the earliest we could have gotten him in, so it's pretty much going to be a lost cause with Richard, so I'm going to take him off the board. After I took Richard off the board, it freed up some points, so I was able to put Zay Garvin on a Week 9 visit as well, as we got some higher pipeline tier guys below him. And like expected, defensive tackle Chip Genus will be joining our defensive line. So after the bye week, I reorganized the board by putting all the guys who were on similar visit weeks in the same group. So for this upcoming Week 6 visit, we got Kai Hamrick in his top 5, and hopefully this can give him a boost. And then we got some guys in their top 3 with Zach Ball, Roland Crouch, and Warren Newcomb. So if we get this visit right, they should be committing to us. Raymond Fisher is in his top 5 now, as we got LSU with their Tier 5 pipeline bearing down on us, and doing a little differently with him as we're trying to sway him to this hard sell, because this one's not terrible, but it has that C grade, so just want to see if we can improve it. Ezekiel Bird is another guy who's in his top 3, and we got a very nice lead over Penn State and UConn now, so I expect him to be committing soon. Emmanuel Sambrelo is now in his top 5, and we went from being at the bottom of his interest to the top spot, but we still got some teams going after him, so we got his hard sell going. Quarterback Javier Perkins is also in his top 5 with a couple of other teams going after him, and we have his hard sell as well. Petey Previtt also leveled up, so we're going to be going to Tier 2 on the running backs and talent developer. A lot of things going into this game against Illinois. Of course, you got the recruiting stakes that we know about, but they're also ranked number 12 with an 85 team overall, and they're also undefeated at 5-0, so there's all that. Then you add into it a little bit that at the beginning of our program, they were the first game that we ever played, and they blew us out, so trying to get a little revenge for that all these years later. And Illinois is going to get the screen out there, and they have the setup they need to get into the end zone. So on the first possession of this game, it's going to be 7-0 Illinois. Here's a deep ball, and it is going to be caught in the end zone by Ahmad Noel. He just absolutely smoked their DB there to get behind the coverage. Lee O'Haleti delivered a perfect strike to him, and just like that, the Piranhas are going to tie this one back up. And it's going to be intercepted here by the Piranhas, as Jadarius Fattencoon was playing excellent zone coverage, baited that quarterback into throwing the ball, and the Piranhas are going to take over on their side of the 50. And off the slant, it's going to be a touchdown strike from Lee O'Haleti to Isaiah Matlock, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to take advantage of the interception to go up 14-7. And Illinois is going to get a catch off the rollout, and they are going to find the end zone with some nice blocking downfield. Just a very well set up play by the Illini, and they're going to tie this ball game back up. So the offense stalls out on Illinois' side of the field, and we are going to put up this kick with Josh Grudadaria. He's going to put it through. Illinois had a chance to block that one, but we are going to send that one in, and it's going to be 17-14. Lee O'Haleti is getting a big run here off the read option, and Lee O'Haleti is going to make a huge play for the Peteytown Piranhas. Just taking that read option, and there was nobody there to defend him, and Lee is going to take that to make it a 24-14 ball game. Oh, what a catch by Illinois. Andy Wilkins had the coverage out there and tried to leap, but Illinois' guy just showed amazing concentration there to get that big pass play. Here comes a sack for the Peteytown Piranhas as our guys get in there. Ben Schroeder and Nate get in there, and it's going to be 3rd and 21. Illinois can't recover from that big sack, so they're going to come out here with the field goal unit, and he's going to put up the kick, and it is going to be good. So Illinois makes it a touchdown game once again, as it's going to be 24-17. And here's going to be a strike for Isaiah Matlock, and they are going to call that a touchdown on the field. I'm not sure if he got in there, but the Peteytown Piranhas have worked it down to this point in the field. Isaiah Matlock getting himself free for Leo Haletti to hit him, and we're going to see what the ruling is now. Illinois is not challenging it, so we're just going to send this extra point through, and that will be a touchdown for Isaiah Matlock, another one for him in this game, and we're going to make it a 2-touchdown deficit going into halftime. They'll try to pick up the first through the air. And we're going to deliver a slant over the middle, and that is going to be a touchdown. And for the 3rd time today, it's Isaiah Matlock in the end zone. Great patience from Leo Haletti, and then delivering the strike where he needed to. Isaiah Matlock just has his fingerprints all over this one, as the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up 3 scores.
Yeah, you got to go tempo. You're going to have to try to fit in as many.
And there's a fumble on the play, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to pick it up. That was a huge hit in the middle of the play there to jar that ball loose, and Nate Cisco is the one that's going to be getting away with it on the fumble recovery. They're going to give Ben Hemphill credit on that forced fumble here. As you can see, the running back flying through the air, and Ben Hemphill jarred it loose. So a penalty kind of derailed this drive for the Piranhas, and Josh Rudadaria is going to come out here to kick another field goal, and he's going to put that one through. And the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up on the Fighting Illini 41-17. Up the middle, there's going to be pressure, and they're going to get home. Ross Moore in on that sack. Ben Schroeder trying to help him out there. That's going to put him back behind the sticks. Outside, it is going to be intercepted by Andy Wilkins, and he's going to return it very nicely all the way back inside their red zone. Perfect zone coverage there from Andy, and kind of gets a little revenge after they hit that big play on him earlier in the game. This time he comes away with a turnover. Wide open in the end zone is going to be Max Martino, and Leo Haletti finds him as he salutes the Piranha faithful, and he is going to put us up 48-17. Up the middle on the defensive line, and Derek Burr this time is going to be the one to bring him down for the sack. Oh my gosh, there we go for the Piranhas at the 1-yard line. Max Martino gets an easy pitch and catch from Leo Haletti to go up 55-17, and it's time to bring in these backups. So this game started off a little back and forth, but then it was completely dominated by the Peteytown Piranhas. You can see Leo Haletti's stats there, just incredible day from him, and we are going to walk away with a 61-17 blowout victory over Illinois. So a big note from this game was that when the score was 24-17, from there the Piranhas rattled off 37 straight points to win this one, including a 30-0 second half. And that also came with a total offense of 519 for the Piranhas and 328 for the Illinois Fighting Illini. And we had 138 yards rushing and a touchdown, while Illinois had 60. Through the air, we had 381 yards to their 268, while they were 3 of 12 on third down, and we were 7 of 12. And we kept the ball away from them, while Illinois committed 4 turnovers. Just an absolutely incredible day from Leo Haletti. He had 381 yards through the air, 6 touchdown passes, and no interceptions, and he wasn't sacked at all. Lee also led us in rushing with 5 carries, 79 yards, and 1 touchdown. Isaiah Matlock broke out in a big way in this game with 8 catches, 114 yards, and 3 touchdowns, while Max Martino had 12 for 78 and 2 touchdowns. Below them, you had George Valdez contributing 5 catches and 73 yards, while Ahmad Noel had 3 catches, 57 yards, and that 44-yard score. Artis Russo came in with the backups and got us 8 tackles and 1 for a loss. Derek Burr got himself 1.5 sacks, while Ben Schroeder and Juan Santiago got 1 each, and then you had half a sack from Ross Moore and Nate Sisko. With the backups, John Woodhead got himself an interception, while Andy Wilkins got that interception that set up our offense nicely. And we all saw Ben Hemphill getting that forced fumble that was picked up by Nate Sisko. Josh Grudedario was perfect today as he went 4 for 4 with a long of 59. That victory over Illinois was able to get us some recruits, and we're starting here with cornerback Zach Ball. You also have Roland Crouch liking what he saw out of the Piranhas. Warren Newcomb is another defensive addition for us. For his fantastic day, Leo Haletti was named the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week, and he was also named National Offensive Player of the Week. The visit wasn't enough for Kai Heinrich to commit to us, but he is very close to doing so. Things are looking a little testy for Emmett McMillan right now as Ohio State keeps gaining on us, and they have a visit before us, so we're just kind of hoping that doesn't go well for them so he can come see us in Week 9. A couple of other guys in their top 3 are Salisi Hwang and Zay Garvin, who are both in first place at the moment, but Zay is going to be facing a few visits before he comes to see us. The sway for Raymond Fisher failed, so we're just going to have to go with campus personality as his sell. Ezekiel Bird is literally millimeters away from committing to us, so we should be getting that after this week. Still holding off USC for Devin Odrick, but I'm not really feeling that confident about it, so we got him on a Week 11 visit with Raymond Fisher. Ohio State has taken over in a big way for Emmanuel Sambrelo, so we got him on a Week 11 visit that we're going to use to pair with Javier Perkins. Now it's time for a tough road battle against Nebraska with their 93 team overall, and they are also undefeated at 5-0, so a couple straight games with undefeated teams, but we handled our last one nicely and hoping we can do the same here. On the first play of the game, Nate Sisko is going to get back there for a sack to push him back 6 yards. Over the middle, and Nebraska is going to get into the end zone there on a nice strike from their quarterback. So despite that sack on the first play of the game, Nebraska rallied and drove it down the field, got away with a penalty on Jadarius Fattencoon, and they're going to take advantage of that to take a 7-0 lead. And that's going to be undercut by Nebraska on the interception, and thankfully we're going to chase him down. Ahmad Noel making the saving tackle there, but just great coverage by Nebraska on that one. Leo Haletti trying to get it outside, and their man denied us. And then we're going to intercept them right back as Bobby Younger makes a leaping grab there. He gets it past the 50-yard line, and the Piranhas defense is going to have their quarterbacks back. And George Valdez is going to follow his blockers right into the end zone there as he found the lane to run through, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to tie this game on the back of that interception from Bobby Younger. Play action, and that is not going to work as he's going to get run down by Clifton Brown on the sack. Nebraska runs themselves back into field goal position after the sack to set up this attempt by their kicker, and he is going to put it through, and Nebraska is going to go back on top with a 10-7 lead. Josh Grudedario field goal attempt from 53 yards, and Josh is going to line it up and send it, and it is going to be good. So we just have back-to-back field goals for the teams as we're going to be at 10-10. And Nebraska's got a long run down the sideline here, and he's finally going to be run out of bounds by the Piranhas, but that is a huge play to get him all the way down to the 12-yard line.
Quarterback wants to throw it on second down.
over the middle, and it is going to be caught in the end zone for Nebraska. There was a lot of heavy traffic there, but their man comes away with it, and after that long touchdown run, Nebraska cashes in to go up 17-10.
Offense looking to throw the ball. That's a fly to the wideout.
And that is going to be bounced around and intercepted by Nebraska. Looked like we had it in our hands, but just a lot of guys there in that area, and it just deflected around and unfortunately ended up in Nebraska's hands.
First down, looking to throw the football. The pass rush close.
And we are bringing in another sack for Clifton Brown, and that is huge for us as they were in field goal range, and that's going to knock them back a peg.
Quarterback sets up, looking for an open man.
And more pressure now, and it's going to be Ross Moore running him down, and their quarterback is just running for his life backwards, and what was once a easy field goal opportunity is now on their side of the 50-yard line. And that is how the half is going to end, as it's 17-10. Don't really like how we finished the first half, especially on offense, but the defense is able to keep us within striking distance, and I'm going to come in for the first time this season. And Leo Haletti is going to keep this one, and he's going to dive forward, always trying to slide, but for some reason it never works out for me. And try to get Lee on the move here on a little sprint out. And I'm going to throw that one. It's a little behind Isaiah Matlock. Didn't want to lead him too far, but he's going to make that catch for us. George Valdez is going to get a nice blocking from his O-line as he gets pushed back really hard. A little aggressive there, but still going to be the first down for us. And we're going to try a little toss with George to the outside, and they're getting instant pressure in on him. He's going to stiff arm him to not lose too much, but still going to be a loss of 3. Bringing Taylor Brommel on a little jet touch pass action. Spin away from that, I guess not. I'm going to have to settle for a field goal attempt here for our guy Josh. A little nervous about myself attempting the field goal here, so I'm going to let Josh Grudedaria take over. And he's going to do it from 51 yards out. The kick is up, and it is good, so that ends up being the right decision for us. And Sim is going to have to take over from here as we're within 7 points. Max Martino getting this one, and he can walk into the end zone for the Peteytown Piranhas. So we get to start this half, we get the field goal, big defensive stop, and then we take the lead on that Max Martino touchdown to make it 20-17. Over the middle, and it's going to be undercut and intercepted by the Peteytown Piranhas. LaRon Weineke making that play. He's going to return it all the way inside their red zone. Just a fantastic job by LaRon there. Not known for being a cover guy, but we do have a little invested into his zone coverage there, and it paid dividends on that play. And instant pressure from Nebraska as they're going to bring down Lee for the first time today, and that's a big one. We were so close to that first down marker, but that's going to push us back.
On third down, he drops to throw. Looking to the end zone.
And what a catch by Taylor Brommel in the corner of the end zone. Leo Haletti just aired it out into the corner there, just hoping Taylor could make a play. And boy, did he ever. Taylor Brommel jumping up into the air, and sometimes you never know, that's usually like tipped into an interception or whatever the case is, but that time it was one-on-one. Taylor Brommel won the battle, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up 27-17. And another interception for the Peteytown Piranhas on third down and 3 for Nebraska. They were trying to move this one closer, or at least get the first down, trying to threaten it in scoring position, but Jadarius Fatton-Kuhn is going to shut the door on that one as he gets the pick. And we throw an interception on the slant. Oh no. Leo Haletti gives it right back to Nebraska. Their man just absolutely baited our guy there. Incredible play by him. And we're about right back where we were when we got the pick with Jadarius. And that's going to be an easy pitch and catch for Nebraska. They were able to work it inside of our 5-yard line, and they're going to capitalize on their own interception. And now it's going to be a field goal game.
Looking to pick up the first down through the air.
Makes a quick catch.
And there we go. Keyshawn Jasso on the delay route is going to separate from their D until they get him down. Just great route running from Keyshawn, and we're right outside their red zone. Now at the 2-yard line, 3rd down and goal for the Piranhas. We're going to toss it out to Max Martino. He gets just enough of a block by Keyshawn out there, and Max Martino is in the end zone. And we're going to reestablish our 10-point lead over the Cornhuskers.
Looking to throw again.
And here comes a sack from Derek Burr. Nebraska was getting close to the 35 there, but Derek Burr is going to push him back. 3rd down and 2 for Nebraska now. And they are going to throw it to the outside. His man is open, and Donnie Haynes has to get over there to save the touchdown.
They'll look to throw it on 3rd and goal.
Over the middle, he tried to hit his man, but who's there but Bobby Younger in the middle of the defense. Their backup quarterback was in there because their starter got hurt on the play before, and he just makes the play that might sink Nebraska there. Bobby Younger in the right place, right where he needs to be to make that pick. Nebraska down to their last timeout. We're on a 3rd down and inches just before the 2-minute warning. We're going to throw it. It's going to be a quick toss. Taylor Brommel is there, and Leo Haletti hit him, and that should be all she wrote in this game. Nebraska actually saved their timeout for after the 2-minute warning, so we are on 3rd down and 2 now, trying to ice this one. Leo Haletti looking, throwing over the middle, but it is going to be knocked away from Ahmad Knowles, so Nebraska not quite out of it yet like I thought they were.
Quarterback looking to throw it on 2nd down.
Throwing deep, and he's going to find his man in between 2 defenders, and they're going to get it to the 13. With time winding down, it's 3rd down and 9 for Nebraska. Looking for something. We're going to get some pressure, and we're going to force the throwaway. Need a field goal here for Nebraska as they're going to line up for it. And he is going to put that one through, and now we're going to set up the onside kick situation. Onside kick is sent, and we are going to cover it nicely, and we are going to walk out of here with a big W, as Nebraska really gave us all we can handle in this game, but the Piranhas, despite some wacky plays and things going on, are able to hold on and get this victory over Nebraska 34-27. So this crazy game with Nebraska included 412 yards of offense for us, while they had 395. We had 104 rushing yards and a touchdown to their 43. They outgained us in the passing game with 352 to our 308. We were 10 of 14 on 3rd down, while they were 8 of 13. 7 total turnovers in this game, but we ended up forcing more on Nebraska as they had 4 and we had 3. Many ups and downs for Leo Haletti in this game, as he had 289 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 picks, and he was also sacked once. George Valdez had himself a nice game with 17 carries and 85 yards with a rushing touchdown. Keyshawn Jasso with a big game today, as he had 8 catches for 119 yards with that big catch on the drive we used to separate from them. Then George Valdez 5 for 49, Isaiah Matlock 4 for 48, and Taylor Brommel 4 for 31 in that touchdown. That was just incredible play by him. Then Max Martino, not a lot of yards as he had 9 for 31, but he did get us 2 touchdowns. Clifton Brown with his best game as a Piranha so far, as he had 13 tackles with 2 for a loss. Clifton Brown also led us in sacks with 2, while he got 1 each from Ross Moore, Derek Burr, and Nate Sisko. Bobby Younger got 2 interceptions for us today, which were both huge. Then you had Jadarius Fattencoon getting 1, and LaRon Weineke getting his. We get to sing the praises of Josh Grudadaria again today, as he had 2 for 2 with a long of 53. 5-star left edge Ezekiel Bird has joined our defensive line group. Apparently Kai Hamrick needs a little bit more convincing from us to commit, because he's millimeters away from doing so. And it being Week 8, Ohio State's in position to make Emmett McMillan a Buckeye, but hopefully that doesn't happen. We seem to be in decent shape for Salisi Hwang, as USC doesn't have their visit till Week 13, and we have ours next week for them. As for Zay Garvin, Iowa's really made this a battle now, and Louisville has a visit, but I think they're a little too far out of the picture to make it anything. But thankfully we have our visit on Week 9. Seeing if Greg Biggers will hold off on committing until we get a visit with him on Week 9, but I think Tennessee is probably just going to take over and take him. Not looking very positive for Emmanuel Sambrelo, as Ohio State is pulled ahead of us and they have a visit before us, so just kind of keeping him on the board just to play it out. Now the Piranhas will head to Indiana to take on the 4-2 Hoosiers, and they're 68 overall, so they're performing above their team overall at the moment, so we got to make sure we come in focused and ready to handle business. Indiana has driven it into our red zone, but they find themselves on a 4th down and 2. He's got 2 backs with him. He's going to hand off to one of them. He gets around the edge, got blocking out there, and they're going to get it all the way down to the 5. Up the middle, their running back is going to score, so Indiana uses that 4th down conversion to propel them to get a 7-0 lead on their first possession.
On 3rd down, he drops to throw.
And this is going to be a big strike from Lee O'Haleti downfield to Isaiah Matlock. That was a 3rd down conversion there that got us to their side of the field. And here's a lofted touchdown and a diving catch by Isaiah Matlock to go out and get that one. Leo Haletti just laid it out there for him, and Isaiah Matlock is going to make a sensational catch to tie up this game. Keyshawn Jasso is going to get a block off the bubble screen, and he has a free lane to the end zone. Keyshawn Jasso making the big play for the Piranhas, and we're going to go up 14-7. And we got Keyshawn Jasso wide open, and he's going to get in for his 2nd touchdown of the game after the Piranhas use some timely passes and runs to get all the way down to their 2, and we punch it in from there. And Max Martino is going to get free on the read flat play for us, and it's going to be another short yarded touchdown for the Piranhas, and it's going to be 28-7. Keyshawn Jasso was trying to reach for the end zone there on the pass, but the Indiana Hoosiers are going to force that fumble out, and Indiana's going to take over just a yard away from a touchdown. Keyshawn trying to do too much a little bit there, and Indiana's going to stop us. Piranhas stall out at the Indiana 25, and Josh Gruttadaria is going to come out for the field goal attempt. He's going to put up this kick, and it is going to be inside that left upright, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to take a 31-7 lead. And we're going to get some pressure, and Ross Moore is going to bring him down for the sack, and that's going to put him on a 3rd and 19. And an outside route, and it's going to be Ahmad Noel fighting into the end zone for the Peteytown Piranhas. Leo Haletti floated it out there for Ahmad to run under, and he made the most of it to make us go up 38-7, and now it's backup time in Indiana. So after Indiana opens the game with a touchdown, the Piranhas rattle off 48 unanswered to get a 48-7 win over Indiana. And we did it in style in this one, as our offense was just at peak efficiency. And we are going to walk out of here after that tough game against Nebraska. Nice to get another blowout on the books. Piranhas got 491 yards to Indiana's 145, and we had 144 yards rushing to their 31 and a touchdown. Passing-wise, we had 347 yards to their 114, while we were 5 of 8 on 3rd down, and they were 3 of 12. And only 1 turnover in this game on that Keyshawn Jasso fumble. Leo Haletti really putting forth a great effort today, as he had 314 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no picks. And Barry Benedict even added 33 yards and a touchdown toss. George Valdez led us in rushing with 10 carries and 54 yards, while Romeo Willingham came in with the backups and got 5 for 42. and Lee O'Haleti added 4 for 33. Isaiah Matlock had a big day receiving again as he had 9 catches, 134 yards, and a touchdown. And then Max Martino, 9 for 61 and a touchdown. Keyshawn Jasso, 4 for 57 and 2 touchdowns. Ahmad Noel, 4 for 37 and a touchdown. And then with the backups, Malachi Doyle had a 15-yard touchdown reception. Johnny Whitaker all over the place in the slot today with 11 tackles. And Ross Moore got our only sack in this one. Josh Grudedaria hit his 2 field goal attempts with a long of 42. 5-star free safety Kai Hamrick has joined the Piranhas' defensive backfield. And another addition on defense with defensive tackle Casey O'Neill. All 3 levels of the defense getting recruits this week as Mike linebacker Shakir Paris will be joining us. Coming off the edge in the future will be Salisi Hwang. A lot of decisions made in recruiting this week as we saw the guys we got, but one of them was not Emmett McMillan as he went to Ohio State. And then Greg Biggers went to Tennessee. And finally, Ohio State poached Emmanuel Sambrelo from us as well. So after clearing out Emmett and Greg from the board, the only other Week 9 visit guy we have now is Zay Garvin, and Iowa wasn't able to overtake us, so hopefully we can use this visit in the recruiting battle to get him. And in a couple weeks, Devin Odrick will be on a visit, and hopefully this week USC doesn't get a boost from theirs. Javier Perkins, another Week 11 visit guy, and right now we got a nice lead over Duke for him. Unfortunately, LSU has overtaken us for Raymond Fisher, but it's still a close battle, and we do have the visit before them, so we'll see how things clear out with him. Doesn't look like West Virginia had a successful Week 8 visit for Tremaine Wolf, so now our focus turns to Kentucky with their Week 10 visit and Tier 4 pipeline below them, so let's see what can happen with Tremaine. Time to hop in versus Michigan State, and after we faced a rather overachieving team with Indiana last game, this team with Michigan State is a little underachieving as they're 4-3 with a 92 team overall. Max Martino has separated on the crossing route for the Peteytown Piranhas, and we're going to open up this game with a touchdown.
So many people have already been talking about this individual one-on-one match.
And on our first defensive play, we're going to get a sack from Nate Sisko to push him back 9 yards. And Keyshawn Jasso is going to get open in the short gain, and we are going to get a touchdown with him to put us up 14-0. Nice little dink and dunkin' by the Piranhas there with a couple of passes that got us into this area of the field, and we're going to take advantage of it with Keyshawn.
Second down, he'll throw it. Pocket breaking down.
And he's being chased down, and Ross Moore is going to bring him down for a 6-yard loss on that sack.
This protection has to be better so he can make more plays.
And more pressure coming in as Ben Schroeder and Nate Sisko are going to get in there for the 3rd sack in the early going for the Piranhas. Michigan State's able to hold our offense on this drive, and Josh Grudedaria is coming out for a field goal attempt, and he is going to put that one through, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up 17-0 on the Spartans.
Looking to throw.
And here is another touchdown for Max Martino, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up 24-0 on Michigan State.
Wants to go up top.
Max Martino again is wide open, and he is scoring yet another touchdown for the Piranhas in this one, as we're going to take the very commanding 31-0 lead.
On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs.
Coming off the edge, and it is going to be a bunch of Piranhas getting in there for the sack, and they are going to call that one a safety as Nate Sisko does a little Michael Jackson dance move there, and it's going to make it a 33-0 lead.
Second and 10.
And this is going to be an RPO post route as Taylor Brommel has put them in the dust there. Great speed by him and nice placement from Lee O'Haleti to hit him in stride. And the Piranhas are going to go up 40-0. And even it's the 3rd quarter right now, I'm just going to let the backups come in because the starters have more than done their jobs in this one. So the Piranhas coast to a 50-3 victory over the Michigan State Spartans, just all sides of the ball firing on all cylinders in this one. We were able to outgain the Spartans 407 -7 to 176, while getting 71 yards on the ground to their -22. Through the air, we had 336 yards to their 198, while they were 4 of 15 on third down, and we were 6 of 11. And we didn't turn the ball over today, as we forced 2 on Michigan State with our backups. Lee O'Haleti with another fantastic game for us, as he had 322 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no picks. George Valdez a little quiet on the ground with 8 carries and 31 yards. Max Martino was the man today with 9 catches, 107 yards, and 3 touchdowns, while George Valdez had 3 for 57. Taylor Brommel's only catch on the day was a 31-yarder that he took to the house, and then Keyshawn Jasso also had a touchdown in this one. Eric Ulrich ended up with 8 tackles to lead the Piranhas today. Juan Santiago and Nate Sisko each had 2 sacks, while Eric Ulrich, Ben Schroeder, and Ross Moore each got 1 sack. And then Nick Warrior and Vernon Hicks each got half a sack, along with Juan Ivey. With the backups, Anthony Swift got an interception for us in the end zone. And then also for the backups, Juan Santiago forced a fumble that was returned by Josh Linder for a 71-yard touchdown. Josh Rudadaria's brilliant season continues as he hit both of his field goals with a long of 59. Say hello to Zay Garvin to the Peteytown Piranhas. Good news for Devin Odrick, as USC did not overtake us with their Week 9 visit, so after this week, if he doesn't commit, we have him on a Week 11 visit. On the other side of the coin, UCLA jumped us for Raymond Fisher with their visit, but they're still behind LSU, and we have a Week 11 visit, so just hoping that we can stay in this race for that. I'm expecting Kentucky to make this a recruiting visit for Tremaine Wolf with their Week 10 visit, but if they don't manage to do that, that means it didn't go well for them, and hopefully we can just get Tremaine without any worry. Pretty exciting news here that after a few great performances, Lee O'Haleti finds himself in the Heisman race. So after a couple of blowouts for the Piranhas, we're entering a very tough final stretch of the regular season, as we're going to have to face 4 ranked teams with Wisconsin, Ohio State, USC, and Duke, so see if we're up to the challenge. To start that final stretch, we're going to have to face Wisconsin at their place with their 86 overall and 6-2 record, and we're hoping that they don't jump around on us.
Second down, we're going to throw it. He's running out of time.
And here comes a sack from Wisconsin that they get right at midfield to push our offense back.
We're going to throw it on 3rd and very long. Fires it to the wide.
And Lee O'Haleti, trying to convert on that 3rd and long, is instead going to throw an interception, trying to get that to Keyshawn Jasso, and Wisconsin returns it to our side of the 50. The defense is able to hold Wisconsin after that interception, and they're out here trying to attempt a 42-yard field goal. And instead, we're going to try to block the kick, and we rough the kicker, so Wisconsin drive is going to continue. Wisconsin has to settle for another field goal attempt here from the hash mark, and they're going to put this one through, so Wisconsin ends up getting that field goal anyway to push their lead to 3-0. And Lee O'Haleti is going to throw a strike to Ahmad Noel in the end zone off a slant, so we're able to respond to Wisconsin's field goal with a touchdown to get it to 7-3. Wisconsin doesn't want to settle for another field goal. They're going for it on 4th down and 5. And they're going to do a little play action, throw it over the middle to their receiver. He had it on the leap, but then we jarred it out, and we're going to stop him. At the final seconds of this first half, Wisconsin is lining up for a field goal, and they are going to put it through, so they're going to get a little bit closer at the end of this half, and we're going to go into halftime 7-6. Wisconsin has gotten it deep into our territory yet again, and it's 3rd down and 7 for them from the 8-yard line, and they're going to fake a draw. And he has a little time, and that time elapses as Derek Burr gets in there for the sack to force another field goal attempt for Wisconsin in the red zone. Wisconsin lining up for the 34-yard field goal attempt straight on here, and he has no trouble with it as Wisconsin is going to take the 9-7 lead. As the 3rd quarter winds down, it's 2nd and goal for the Piranhas, and off the RPO, Lee O'Haleti flips it over to Ahmad Noel again for a touchdown, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up 14-9. With just over 4 minutes left in this game, Wisconsin has worked it to our side of the 50, and they're going to come out in a little wildcat action on a counter, and the Piranhas are there to bring them down for a 3-yard loss. After the TFL on 1st down, it's 3rd down and 13 for the Badgers in an empty formation. He's going to drop back, throw to the side to his man. We got some guys there to cover it, and we're going to bring him down. And Wisconsin is going to punt this one away with just under 2.5 minutes left. They're down by a touchdown, but they're deciding to let their defense get them the ball back, and that is going to be a beautiful punt as it's out at the 1-yard line. We've only been able to advance the ball a yard here. Wisconsin has used 2 of their timeouts, and it's 3rd down and 9 for the Piranhas. We're just going to run with George Valdez. He might have had a little hole, but Wisconsin is going to toughen up there. 1:29 left. It's 3rd down and 3 for the Badgers, and he's going to drop back, throw it over the middle, and it's going to be knocked out nicely there. That pass breakup sets up 4th down and 3 for the Badgers. Empty formation. Trying to get a push here. Throws it outside, and it's knocked away, and he almost had a chance at it, but it's going to fall incomplete. And that means that the Piranhas can come out in the victory formation with Lee O'Haleti. And he is going to take that knee, and the clock winds down, and we get a hard-fought defensive battle here with a 14-9 victory against Wisconsin. This game really came down to red zone execution. We forced Wisconsin into field goals. We were able to get a couple of touchdowns, and really a struggle for our offense today. And Wisconsin was able to drive on us, but again, that red zone execution for them just wasn't there enough for them, and we are going to walk out of here with the victory. These stats really show the defensive battle that it was, as Wisconsin had 259 yards and we only had 213, and they had 29 rushing yards to our 36. The Badgers had 230 passing yards to our 177, while we were 8 of 12 on 3rd down, and they were 7 of 14. And we had the only turnover in the game on our first drive, but the rest of the game was clean. Lee O'Haleti may not have impressed the Heisman voters with this performance, but it was still in a winning effort, so we'll take it, as he had 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick, and he was sacked once. George Valdez got 13 carries for 39 yards. Max Martino paced us with 7 catches for 70 yards, while Ahmad Noel did the scoring with 5 catches, 26 yards, and 2 touchdowns. A couple of guys with 10-plus tackles, as Johnny Whitaker got 11 and Clifton Brown got 10 with 2 for a loss. You also got to shout out Bobby Younger for 9 tackles and 4 for a loss. He was just living in the backfield in this one. Derek Burr had our only sack in this one. 5-star Tremaine Wolf will be joining the program on our defensive line. Unfortunately, we couldn't stick around in the battle for Raymond Fisher, so we're going to have to take him off the board. Big recruiting implications for our upcoming game against Ohio State, as Devin Odrick and Javier Perkins will be coming to visit. And really for Devin, it's do or die with this. We either win against Ohio State and get a good chance at getting him, or we lose and USC can swoop in. A few other guys that we've added to the board along the way. You got right guard Anthony Perkins, who are currently in first place on, but Oregon with that Tier 4 pipeline is going to have something to say about it. And looking at his ratings, for an agile guy, it's okay. He's got that run block finesse up to 82, which is important for that archetype. And the really exciting thing is his 90 impact blocking. And then we got some 3-star gems that we found with George Simonet, Adrian Grudedaria, and Clyde Richard. And for George, he's exciting as an athlete thumper. He's very athletic, of course, with his 88 speed and 87 acceleration. And then you go down to Adrian, he's a running back really, but he's an athlete, so we can stick him anywhere. But 91 speed, 90 acceleration, very good. And then you got Clyde Richard, a left tackle who's a gem, and he's in the 70s for most of his things, but with that gem, I think he could turn into something really good for us. Number 1 and number 6 are going to do battle now at the Piranha Tank as the Ohio State Buckeyes come to visit us with their 8-1 record and 99 team overall, so really got to bring our A-plus effort in this one. Especially a couple of seasons ago, we were able to go to their stadium and get a victory over them, so they're going to have revenge in the back of their minds for this one.
Both these teams understand what a win could do for
Lee O'Haleti is going to keep this one on 3rd and 1, and nobody's marking him as Lee O'Haleti gets a big touchdown run for the Peteytown Piranhas. Great decision by him, and we're going to go up 7-0. Lee O'Haleti taking this one up the middle, and he is going to get hit, but he's carried into the end zone, and Lee O'Haleti has his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day to put us up 14-0. And we tried the pop pass, but Lee O'Haleti overthrew it, unfortunately. Just didn't put it on Max Martino, and Ohio State's safety was back there and playing center field to make that interception. Petey Previtt elects to take the field goal here, a 22-yard attempt for Josh Grudedaria. He's going to put it up. And there is a flag there as Ohio State is going to commit the penalty as they roughed up Josh. And no matter what, I think that was a good field goal, but not going to matter now as the Piranhas are going to accept that. And we are going to take over on their 3 with a fresh set of downs. Max Martino going to get the chance here on the flat play, and Max Martino is going to be in the end zone, so what could have been a 17-0 score for the Piranhas, thanks to Ohio State's penalty, it's going to be a 21-0 score now, and we are looking very, very good in this top 6 matchup with Ohio State. With the time ticking down, we're going to get a pass off, and it's going to be wide open for Keyshawn Jasso, and he stops there like nobody's going to cover me, and he just walks into the end zone, and right before the half, we're going to go up 28-0 on Ohio State. Josh Grudedaria really going to test his leg on this one as he's going to try a 60-yard field goal attempt right on the 50-yard line. He sends it up, and it is good. That snuck on through. Josh Grudedaria, just take a bow, young man. What a fantastic season he's having this season, and that just is further proof of it with that very long field goal.
Here's the snap. Quarterback drops back, bringing pressure.
And Ohio State is finally on the board with that touchdown strike that they got in between our defenders. Took them till 11-17 in the fourth quarter, but they are there as it's 31-7. Ohio State still fighting in this one as they're at our 1-yard line with 6.5 minutes left. We're going to run this one up the middle and get it into the end zone, and they're going to make the score look a little bit closer now at 31-14. And Max Martino is going to get wide open in the end zone for the Piranhas. Going to go up 38-14, and I think with 2:41 left, we're kind of safe now. Maybe did a little too much with the starters in this one, but like that they were able to finish off on a positive note with that touchdown. So the Piranhas are going to get a very convincing 38-14 victory over the Ohio State Buckeyes. Just very, very good on both sides of the ball today. The defense lit up a little bit at the end there, but throughout the game they just played so dominantly. And other than that interception from Lee O'Haleti, the offense looked very good as well. So just happy that we were able to get through this very important matchup with flying colors. The Piranhas put up 441 yards to Ohio State's 264, and we had 206 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns, while they had 21 and a touchdown. They narrowly outgained us in the passing department as they had 243 to our 235. They were 3 of 10 on third down, while we were 8 of 12. And we had the only turnover in this game, but it didn't come back to bite us. Lee O'Haleti had himself a nice day in this one with 235 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and he wasn't sacked. Lee O'Haleti and George Valdez each had 80 yards rushing, and Lee also had 2 rushing scores, so that was 5 touchdowns for him on the day. Max Martino had 9 catches for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Isaiah Matlock had 6 for 48, and Keyshawn Jasso had 6 for 44 and a touchdown. Bobby Younger led the tacklers with 8 in this one. Our backups got our 2 sacks in this one as Juan Ivey got 1, and then John Woodhead and Artis Rousseau got half a sack each. Josh Grudedaria continues to excel as he hit his only field goal attempt, which was a very impressive 60-yarder. That win against Ohio State impressed Devin Odrick enough to want to commit to the Piranhas. And on the other side of the ball, quarterback Javier Perkins will be a Peteytown Piranha. For his 5-touchdown day, Lee O'Haleti was recognized as the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. Unfortunately, with a couple of interceptions for Lee O'Haleti the last couple of weeks, he's fallen out of the Heisman race. Looking at the Big Ten standings before we hop into our last couple of games in the regular season, we're on top of the conference with a 7-0 record, while our next opponent, USC, is right under us at 6-0, and then still in the mix is Michigan with 1 conference loss, and pretty much Ohio State's out of it, especially since we got that tiebreaker over them in Wisconsin and Nebraska, so We are looking pretty good right now, but we still got to take care of our business. Now it's time for number 1 versus number 3 in the country, with USC coming to the Piranha Tank with their 9-1 record, and it's a battle of the 2 top teams in the Big Ten Conference. The Piranhas stuffed 2 of USC's attempts at runs here, and it's 3rd down and goal from the 4. And he's going to try an RPO. We're a little tied up over there, and that's going to cost us as their man has reached for the end zone, and USC is going to go up 7-0. And it's going to be picked off here by the Piranhas. Bobby Younger getting it and returning it to their 17-yard line. So it's a 3rd and long situation for USC, trying to get something going, but instead we're going to get that pick and set up our offense very nicely. Out to Kelvin Penn, and he's got a lot of room to work with. Actually, that's our other guy, Devin Eagles, the 3rd tight end, as Max Martino is dealing with a little wear and tear. But after that disappointing end to the last drive, the interception helps spark us, and we're going to tie up this ball game 7-7. And we're going to get another interception as he went for the hitch, and Ben Hemphill jumped it, and Ben Hemphill is going to bring that all the way back for the pick 6. What a beautiful read by Ben. Just absolutely read that quarterback like a book off the RPO hitch route, and we are going to take the 14-7 lead. And we are going to get a sack by Ben Schroeder on 3rd down here to prevent USC from getting in the end zone on this drive. USC's got to settle for the field goal after that sack, and he's going to send it up, and it is good. So USC gets something out of this drive, but it could have been worse for the Piranhas, as it's going to be 14-10. And here comes a sack from Ben Schroeder as he gets back there and knocks him back 3 yards behind the original line of scrimmage. After stalling out a little bit on offense, we're sending out our man Josh Grudedaria for the field goal attempt. He has put this one up, and it is straight on through the upright, so we will get a touchdown lead back over USC. And that's going to be intercepted by USC as he was able to undercut that route, and they're getting a huge return here, and they're going to get it all the way to our 31-yard line. That's a great play by their defender there, just undercutting that route. Leo Haletti thought he had his man open, but USC closed that door quickly. And their man is going to get in front of our defender and physical him out there for the touchdown, and USC is going to tie up this ball game. And he's going to get hit as he throws, and that's going to be intercepted. That's Nate Sisco out there in coverage. What an incredible play by the defense. We got the pressure on him, forced him to throw it before he wanted to, and Nate Sisco hanging out back there getting that interception. And Leo Haletti is going to find Taylor Brommel on the outside, and he's going to push it all the way to their 32 on a 3rd down and 13. Leo Haletti delivers a strike. Over the middle, we're going to get Ahmad Noel, and we're going to convert a 3rd down again and get it inside their 15. Leo Haletti right up the middle. There's nobody there as the blocks line up, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to take advantage of that interception. Crucial play by the defense. Incredible drive there by the offense, converting on some 3rd downs to get there, including a 3rd and 13. And Leo Haletti finishes it off, and with the go-ahead score to put us up 24-17. Trojans trying to come out firing, but Derek Burr gets almost instant pressure there for our 3rd sack of the game, and that's going to push him back 7 yards. 3rd down and 11, USC trying to spread us out here, sending their man in motion to the other side, and he is going to drop back. We got some pressure coming off the edge. He gets it out before it gets there, and they get 8 yards. 4th down and 3 for the Trojans. And he's looking for something. He's throwing it over the middle, and it's going to be undercut by Clifton Brown, who gets the interception, and that will make this I'm just at a loss for words. Just incredible job by the defense. 4 interceptions in this ball game, really helping us out, and USC giving us all that we can handle. But that interception is going to really almost do it. I can't say we're definitely out of the woods yet because USC's got a couple of timeouts, so really got to bear down on offense and push the ball forward. Direct snap, and George Valdez is going to get that first down right up the middle. And with that first down, we are going to be able to kneel on this with Lee O'Haleti and watch the clock run down. And the Piranhas are going to survive with a 24-17 win, thanks to some timely stops by the defense, and the offense was able to take advantage of those opportunities given by the defense, and we're going to get out of here with the W. For total offense, the Trojans and the Piranhas were very close as we narrowly edged them out 275 to 273, and we had 110 rushing yards and a touchdown to their 12. They outgained us in the air 261 to 165, while they had 9 of 15 on third down, and we were 4 for 9. This game was won because of our 4 turnovers we forced on defense, just being able to set up our offense and even scoring on a pick 6 for one of them, so that ended up being a deciding play in this game as we won by a touchdown. Lee O'Haleti finished with 165 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, and he wasn't sacked. George Valdez was solid on the ground with 11 carries and 67 yards, while Lee O'Haleti had 8 for 43 and what proved to be the game-deciding score. Some low numbers in the passing game as Keyshawn Jasso led us with 4 catches and 31 yards, while the touchdown was scored by Devin Eagles on a 4-yarder. On defense, Johnny Whitaker and Bobby Younger both had 11 tackles, while Clifton Brown had 10. And then you had Bobby getting 3 for a loss, along with Clifton getting 4 for a loss. 3 sacks in this ball game as Ben Schroeder got there twice and Derek Burr got there once. And it's been a bit since we got a turnover on defense, but we got them in bunches today as Bobby Younger, Clifton Brown, Nate Sisko, and Ben Hemphill all got interceptions, with Ben returning his 28 yards for a score, and then Nate Sisko coming out out of nowhere getting 1 in coverage. And Clifton was the one that really sealed the deal for us, and Bobby Younger getting 1 earlier in the game that set up our offense. So all of these interceptions proved to be absolutely crucial for us today. And Josh Rudadaria hit his only kick of the day for a 55-yarder. Not a lot to update in recruiting. Anthony Perkins still maintaining his lead over Oregon and UConn. Then George Simonet is in his top 3 with nobody else going after him. And Adrian Grudadaria also has nobody going after him. And then Clyde Richard, a different story as other teams are going after him, but we're still in first place and we got his hard sell. Our final game of the regular season will be against the Duke Blue Devils with their 23 ranking and 91 overall and 8-3 record, so hopefully we can finish the season strong at the Piranha Tank.
From the gun, wants to pass.
And we're going to overthrow this one. Lee O'Haleti trying to hit Isaiah Matlock, but pass just gets away from him as Duke is going to make the interception. Duke kind of fizzles out on offense, and they're going to settle for the field goal here. And he is going to put it through, so Duke is going to take advantage of the interception, and they're going to go up 3-0.
Wants to go up top. Fires to the wide.
Over the middle, and they are going to dice us up on that throw as they split our safeties, and Duke is going to go up 10-0. Lee O'Haleti bringing it up the middle, and they are not able to get him as Lee is going to score right up the middle of their defense, and we are going to stabilize a little bit as we're down 10-7.
Back to throw. It's carry on. Here comes
And we are going to get that back there, and we're going to get the sack as Juan Ivy gets in there and makes them lose 8 yards. And here's an RPO, and Ahmad Noel is running away from the defense now, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Piranhas. That RPO post play works to perfection there. Ahmad Noel just running through the defense, and he used his speed to break away from them, and we're going to go up 14-10.
really didn't move the ball at all the last time they
And right up the middle, it's going to be Derek Burr getting him down for a sack. So sacks on back-to-back possessions for the Piranhas D, and this one is going to put him back 6 yards. And wide open is going to be Keyshawn Jasso on the RPO that we love, and the Peteytown Piranhas make it 21 unanswered points as it's 21-10. Josh Grudadario's hit a 60-yarder this season, and now he's going to try to hit one from 62 yards. He booms this one away, and it is good. My God, Josh Grudadario. He is just an amazing kicker as he puts that one through, and it's going to be 24-10 for the Piranhas as we hit zeros on this first half on this kick return. And up the middle, Juan Ivey is going to get back there again in this game, as that's our third sack of the ball game. Leo Haletti taking this one up the middle, and he's got himself another rushing score. And the Peteytown Piranhas are going to continue to pour it on as it's 31-10. And bunch of Piranhas back there, and Ben Schroeder is going to be the one to get to him as he's going to sack him for an 8-yard loss. And that is an absolutely beautiful throw from Duke's quarterback after the sack, and that's going to get it to their side of the 50. Duke is able to get it to our 10, but not much further, and they're going to have to settle for the field goal attempt. And he puts it up, and it is good. So the 31-point streak for the Peteytown Piranhas comes to an end as they add a field goal to make it 31-13 for the Piranhas. And what a catch there. Oh my goodness, a leaping grab. Looked like Keyshawn Jasso on that one. And that's going to be how the third quarter ends. What a play. And here is going to be a touchdown toss on a little dig route out there. Isaiah Matlock getting free for the score. We're going to go up 38-13, and at this point, I'm just going to let the backups come in, get some time, and rest up our guys before we head to the Big Ten championship game in a couple weeks, and I'll see you guys at the end. So the Piranhas end the regular season with a 45-13 victory over Duke, and after going down 10-0, we were able to outscore them 45-3 the rest of the way. So great job by the Piranhas taking on that initial adversity and really showing their dominance the rest of the way. The Piranhas surpassed 500 total yards in this one as we got to 519, while Duke had 275. We had 151 yards on the ground and 2 scores, while they had -10. Passing-wise, we had 368 yards to their 285, and we were 6 of 9 on third down. Nice, and they were 6 of 15. Leo Haletti had the only turnover in this one on our first possession, but the rest of the way was smooth sailing. Leo Haletti finished just under 300 yards as he had 299 with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception, while Barry Benedict had 69 yards, nice, and a touchdown pass. George Valdez with 15 carries and 82 yards, while Lee O'Haletti had 11 for 61 and 2 touchdowns. Through the air, Ahmad Noel had 3 for 95 and that 74-yard score, and then Max Martino had 7 for 72. Keyshawn Jasso 4 for 67 and a touchdown. Taylor Brommel 2 for 58 and a touchdown with the backups. And then Isaiah Matlock added another score as well. Bobby Younger and Clifton Brown each had 8 tackles, and Bobby had 2 TFLs while Clifton had 3. Juan Ivey with 2 sacks on the game while Derek Burr got in for 1. Then we had half a sack each from Nate Sisko and Ben Schroeder. Josh Grudadario was called on 1 time today, and it was an incredible feat as he hit a 62-yarder. For the Big Ten championship game, it's going to be a rematch against USC. Athlete George Simonet is going to be joining the Peteytown Piranhas. So after it took us 3 seasons to get to the SEC championship, in our first season with the Big Ten, we're already in the title game for this conference, and it'll be against familiar foe USC as we're going to try to do a little repeat of what happened last time with the W. Little team comparison as we outperform them on third down, but they get more yards than us and they pass a little more than us.
On 1st and 10, looking to throw.
George Valdez making the catch off of that jet play, and he is going to get into the end zone with some nice moves, and a guy tried to bring him down in the end, but George was able to muscle his way into the end zone, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up 7-0.
Here comes a 1st down pass attempt. It's a short completion.
And there's a fumble out there, and USC is going to pick it up, and Petey Previtt is going to challenge this one to see if Max Martino is actually down or not.
The official officials to take
So
another
looking at the
look that
replay
one.
here, there's a
Might
knee
be
down. The ball is out there. Let's see, can't really tell here. To me, his knee is down, but we'll see what the refs say on this one. And it will be a successful challenge for the Piranhas as we're going to get it back.
He's looking to throw.
Over the middle, it's going to be George Valdez, and he's in the end zone again on the receiving end as we're going to go up 14-0. And that challenge ended up working nicely for the Piranhas as we avoided the fumble, and we're going to go up 14-0. After getting it inside our 10, it's 3rd and goal for USC. He's looking around. He's going to scramble for it. He's got some space to move, and he is going to scramble it in as we try to hit him at the end, but he is well into the end zone, and USC is going to fight back now as they're only down a touchdown. Piranha's able to get it to USC's side of the field, but not further than the 39, and Josh Crudadaria is going to put up a field goal, and it is good. So the Peteytown Piranhas are going to extend their lead again, and it's going to be 17-7. And that's going to be intercepted by Johnny Whitaker. What a play as he angles out for a return. He's going to return it all the way back to their 6-yard line. What a play by Johnny, just coming out of where he was and out of nowhere making that pick on USC's quarterback. Over the middle, George Valdez, another receiving touchdown in this one. That's 3 on the ball game as he's scored all of our touchdowns in this one. And he's going to make it 24-7, courtesy of that Johnny Whitaker interception. Big blitz coming for the Piranhas, and that's going to result in a sack for Derek Burr. That sack will make it a 3rd and 10 for USC. We send another blitz as Donnie Haynes is chasing after him, and Donnie is going to bring him down, and they're going to force a field goal attempt. 39-yard attempt here for the Trojans. And he is going to put it up. And we get the block and the recovery. What an insane play by the Peteytown Piranhas. Oh my goodness. I don't know how we got that one, but some incredible athleticism showed there on that play. And we're going to get an interception. Clifton Brown is going to get it, and he can walk into the end zone on the pick 6. We sent a blitz there that rushed their quarterback's process, and he rushed it right into the hands of Clifton Brown, and we're going to go up 31-7. Off the bubble, it's going to be Keyshawn Jaso, and he's spinning away, and he is running away from the USC defense. Well-executed play by the Piranhas there. That's a bubble off an RPO. It's not the main action, but it's action that gets Keyshawn Jaso into the end zone. And USC, a little fluky jump there, but it's going to get them into the end zone nonetheless. And USC is able to close the margin a little bit as it's 38-14. And off of that RPO, it's going to be intercepted by USC, and he is going to return it for a touchdown. So a little bit of an animation fluke there, giving USC the pick 6, and they're going to close the margin even further and make it 38-21. Scratch the 21 as USC is going to go for 2 to try to make it a 2-possession game. They're going to send their man in motion, fake it. They're going to try running it, but the Piranhas are there to stuff it, so it's going to be 38-20. And this time it's going to be a fumble caused by USC as our man was trying to fight for yardage, and USC is going to recover it on our 43-yard line. And a Wildcat, he's trying to get around the edge, and he will get around Nate Sisko, and USC is going to get even closer now as it's going to be 38-27. Piranhas have gotten it just across the 50-yard line, but we're got to settle for a Josh Crudadaria field goal attempt. He booms this one away, and it is good. So the Peteytown Piranhas, after 2 of the flukiest turnovers you'll ever see on their past couple of drives, we're going to put it up there and get it 41-27 to make it a 2-possession game, but a 2-touchdown game now. Up the middle, it's going to be a sack as Clifton Brown came in like a streak of lightning to bring down their quarterback for a big loss. 3rd down and 17 here with just about 6 minutes left to go in this Big Ten championship. And USC is going to drop back, throw it to the side. There's a man there, but we are going to make the leaping interception. Jadarius Fattenkoon with a huge athletic play to get that one. And we are going to take over on their 36. Out to Keyshawn Jasso on the RPO, and he is going to score and put us up by 21. So little scary moments there as USC was trying to creep back into this one, but we're able to get the touchdown, the turnover, and another touchdown to put that separation between us. And we are going to just let this one ride out, and I'll see you at the end. So in their first year in the Big Ten, the Peteytown Piranhas have secured the conference championship as we get the 48-27 victory over USC. And now we've collected all of the conference championships in the game, other than Pac-12, of course, because we didn't enter that conference. But very proud of the Piranhas for this game. And we avoided the 38-7 collapse by just kind of rebounding and getting our stuff together in that fourth quarter. And I'm glad to say that we are the Big Ten champions as we celebrate with the trophy there. For yardage comparison, we had 393 to USC's 350, and we had 48 yards on the ground while they had -7 but 3 rushing touchdowns, go figure. They just outgained us in the passing game with 357 yards to our 345, while we were 5 of 9 on third down and they were 5 for 12. USC ended up with 4 turnovers in this game as we had 2 of the flukiest ones you'll ever see. Leo Haletti, outside of that weird interception, was just fantastic today as he had 345 yards, 5 touchdowns, and that pick with no sacks. George Valdez had 11 carries for 39 yards. George's real impact came in the receiving game as he had 9 catches for 112 yards and 3 touchdowns, which is just great by him. Then Keyshawn Jasso had 8 for 92 and 2 touchdowns. And Kelvin Penn, coming in for the banged-up Max Martino, had 10 for 65. Clifton Brown and Donnie Haynes each had 14 tackles in this one, while Clifton got 3 TFLs and Donnie had 2. Then we got 1 sack each from Clifton Brown, Donnie Haynes, Derek Burr, and Juan Ivey. Our interception parade against this USC quarterback continued from last game as we got 3 in this one, with Clifton Brown getting a return for a touchdown, then Johnny Whitaker getting an interception, and Jadarius Fattenkoon with that incredible interception he had. And Nate Sisko was the one who was credited with that blocked field goal. Josh Grudedaria, like he's done all season long, hit both of his attempts with a long of 59. After we advanced to Week 16 for the Army-Navy game week, they said that Anthony Perkins was in a recruiting battle with Oregon, but after we advanced again, Anthony has actually committed to us, so good to see that. And following him will be Clyde Richard. Alabama wide receiver Clayton Gums is your Heisman Trophy winner. Clifton Brown has won the Chuck Bednarik Award. Nate Sisko is your Defensive End of the Year Award winner. Clifton Brown is also the Bronco Nagurski Trophy winner. Max Martino is again the John Mackey Award winner. And Josh Grudedaria very deservedly wins the Lou Grozo Award as he went perfect on his field goals during the season. Johnny Whitaker is again the Jim Thorpe Award winner. Clifton Brown also brings home the Dick Butkus Award. Nate Sisko also collects the Lombardi Award. Wanted to point out that Clayton Gums won the Heisman Trophy, but Lee O'Haletti ended up being in 5th place for the award, so that's the 2nd straight year we've had a Heisman finalist. Now we can look at some depth traits for our recruits, and Ezekiel Bird is going to come in with elite development, so right off the bat, very good news. Kai Hamrick is also elite dev, then Tremaine Wolf is a star dev. Devin Odrick elite, so very glad we were able to outlast the battle for him. Javier Perkins is a star dev. Then Zach Ball, another star dev. Roland Crouch, star dev once again. Salisi Hwang, star dev, as we're going on a run of those right now. Kane McCarthy is impact, so first guy under a star or elite. Then Matt Jurgensen is normal. Then Chip Genus is a star dev, very nice. Warren Newcomb, star dev. Casey O'Neill, impact. Then Shakir Paris is impact as well. Then Zay Garvin, a star, very nice for that. And George Simonet is an impact dev. And Anthony Perkins, who we just got, is impact. And still working on Adrian Grudedaria. And finally, Clyde Richard is impact. In the college football playoff bracket, we're the number 1 seed for the second straight year, and on the other side you got number 2 Miami and number 3 Alabama. Then back on our side is number 4 Texas, an old foe. And then in the first round you got these teams with number 5 Nebraska and Wisconsin playing, number 8 USC, number 9 UCF, number 6 Penn State, number 11 Tulsa, and then number 7 Tennessee and number 10 Georgia. For the third time this season, we're going to be playing the USC Trojans, and this time it's going to be in the quarterfinal. No reason to beat around the bush. We can just jump right into this game against USC, and we're hoping it goes like the first 2 against them did this season. On the opening possession of the game, we get it to the 41, but can't get any further. And Josh Grudedaria out here trying to kick, and he's going to hit the upright, so that is going to be Josh's first miss of the season. And their quarterback has no idea where he's going out there, and he's running right into the hands of Mateo Polanco for the sack.
How much of a risk will they take to try to pick up this first down?
And Lee O'Halletti just flings that one up there for grabs, and USC is there to intercept it, and they're going to get it on our 30-yard line.
Dropping back, it's Hansen. Deep shot toward the end.
And USC is going to get a big play here as their man skies for that one and gets it into the end zone, and USC is going to capitalize on that interception and go up 7-0. And trying to hit George Valdez out of the backfield. Instead, Leo O'Halletti is going to throw another interception, and now USC is set up on the 45. And we're going to get the interception right back as he tried to fire it into the end zone, and instead we're going to get that one with Ben Schroeder, so big stand by the defense to keep USC off the board. And Lee O'Halletti trying to go deep, and their safety is going to come over and intercept that, and he's going to get a return out of it all the way to the 40-yard line. And their running back is getting free, and he is going to get into the end zone. He found a clear lane there, and the blocking set up nicely, and our pursuit angles were not there. And USC is going to go up 14-0. USC trying to put up a field goal to make it a 3-score game before halftime. They're going to put up the kick, and it is going to be good. So USC is going to put us down 17-0. With 2 seconds left, USC has it at the 45, trying a 62-yard field goal here. And they're going to put this one up, and it is going to be good. So USC goes up 20-0 in this first half. Maybe the worst half of football the Peteytown Piranhas have ever played. And I'm going to come in and see if I can help our boys out, because we're in desperate need of it right now, and USC was definitely motivated in this one. And on the first play, USC is gashing us for a 9-yard run. On the RPO, we're going to get into the backfield and bring them down for a loss. Third down and 2 for the Trojans. They're going to try a running play, and we're there to stuff it, and we're going to get off the field. Max Martino getting this one, and he's going to get some blocks downfield to spring him for the first down. And trying to do a little boot play, but USC is going to bring us down for the sack. Probably not the best play call on my part. Over the middle, they're going to hit their man, and he's going to get the first down. And a man gets wide open on our man coverage, and he gets it to the 50. And they are going to get out of our double mug mid-blitz look and get their man free for the first down. Running through our guys like we're not even there, and they're going to get 8 yards. Trying an option, he gets the pitch out, and Bobby Younger's there to make the stop in the backfield. Third down and 3 for USC. And they are going to not get the pass away, as we're going to get the sack with Mateo Polanco. And his kick is up, and he's going to sneak it through that left upright, and USC is going to extend the lead to 23-0.
play of the drive, looking to throw the football.
And they went with a big blitz there, and Max Martino is going to take advantage of it with a big gain.
That's midfield in 1st and 10.
Dumping this one off to Keyshawn Jasso, and he's going to get us 7 yards. Max Martino over the middle on the drag. He's going to get us a 1st down.
Nice job of locating the tight end for that 1st down.
And they read that screenplay like a book as that guy just came running from the other side of the field.
What I love to see is how they run to the ball. He checks it
Dumping
down.
this one off to Ahmad Noel, and he's going to get some of that lost yardage back. 3rd and 7 here for the Peteytown Piranhas. Getting this drag out to Keyshawn Jasso, and he's going to angle for the 1st down. Trying a jet touch pass with Keyshawn, and he's going to get a nice little juke move, and that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter as we're at the 13. 3rd down and 4 for the Peteytown Piranhas. Getting this one out to Keyshawn, and he is going to drag it for the 1st down. Keyshawn Jasso getting open on our favorite RPO, and the Peteytown Piranhas are finally on the board as it takes all the way to the 4th quarter to do that. Trying a 2-point conversion here are the Piranhas, and they are going to get us right up the middle. Can't get anywhere. And they had the perfect blocking alignment on that run play for an 8-yard gain. Off the RPO, we're going to get Clifton Brown in there for a big tackle for a loss. 3rd down and 5 for USC. And they are going to go with the pass. And they're going to try a deep one, and that's going to be intercepted by Donnie Haynes, and he's going to get some blocking downfield. And the Peteytown Piranhas are going to be set up outside their 23. Max Martino getting this one, and Max is going to swerve around them, and Max Martino is in the end zone for the Piranhas. And we're going to get a little bit closer now. And we're just going to go with a field goal, or extra point, I should say. I don't know why I said field goal. They're going to find their man, and we're going to separate it from him with Andy Wilkins making a huge play there. George Valdez going to get some room up the middle there as we audible to that to get the 1st down. Keyshawn Jasso is wide open over there off the motion, and we're going to get that big 1st down. Trying Max Martino here. He's going to hold on to it on a tough catch and get it to their 7. George Valdez on the orbit motion. He's going to get this one. George Valdez is going to make the catch and get into the end zone for the Peteytown Piranhas. And now we're within a field goal of USC. With the clock winding down here, about 2.5 minutes left. USC's on a 3rd down and 3 in an empty formation here. And he is going to drop back, and he's going to dump it off, and it's going to be incomplete, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to get a chance here. And Leo Haletti's going to start the drive with a big throw to Keyshawn Jasso, who makes that tough catch. Right around midfield, the Piranhas are on 3rd down and 3 here. And Leo Haletti dropping back. He's going to find Max Martino, and Max Martino going down the sideline. Are they going to catch him? And he is just going to catch him, but not after Max Martino gets a huge play there to set us up at the 3-yard line. 1st down and goal for the Piranhas. Lee dropping back, rolling out. He's going to fire over his body, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Peteytown Piranhas. Isaiah Matlock bringing it in. A guy was draped all over him, but Lee running for his life, throwing across his body, is going to hit Isaiah in the hands, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to take their first lead of the game with just over a minute left in the 4th quarter. What a wild, wild 4th quarter for the Peteytown Piranhas. So USC needs a touchdown here. They're going to try a little run to the outside. Their man will get outside, but we are going to cover him up nicely. 2nd down and 6 for USC. Clock ticking down now, around 45 seconds. Throwing it over the middle, and he's going to catch it in front of our defenders, and they take their first timeout. 30 seconds left now. USC looking for something, throwing it out to his guy, and he's going to catch it, and we're going to cover him up, and they take their 2nd timeout. Throwing it here, and it's going to be intercepted by the Piranhas. What a play! And we're going to get a return out of it. Bobby Younger is going to pick that one off, and the Peteytown Piranhas are in prime position to get this win now. Oh my goodness, the Peteytown Piranhas. Can you believe this? Down 20-0 at halftime. I came in just trying to help our guys out. I was able to get it within 3, and then our boys just took this one home. Bobby Younger with that play. Unbelievable. Lee O'Haleti is going to be able to kneel on this one, and we are going to take home this miraculous comeback victory. And the Peteytown Piranhas 27-23. USC will be having nightmares about the Peteytown Piranhas after we've swept them 3-0, but none crazier than this one, of course. Oh my goodness, I am just shaking right now. I can't even believe what I just saw. Petey Previtt and the boys got this one done. It was huge scaring, and I'm just rambling now, but wow. A few notes about this victory against USC. It was our 30th straight victory as a program, so after reaching 20 earlier this season, 30 is a nice milestone to reach. And for me personally, it was the biggest deficit I've helped us come back from, as it was 20 when I entered and then 23 when I allowed that field goal. But 23 points is the most points I've helped us overcome, and we were able to do it with a 27-point fourth quarter. Of course, the CPU and really just was the one that was able to capitalize with that last drive from Leo Haleti, that touchdown to Isaiah Matlock, but just a little feather in my cap personally to feel pretty good about, but just happy that the boys were able to get it done after I had to give it back to Sim. Now that we've covered those notes, I can go through the numbers in the game. Peteytown Piranhas had 345 yards to USC's 290. We ran for 62 yards while they had 71 and a touchdown. And then through the air, we had 283 yards to their 219, and we were 5 of 10 on third down while they were 5 of 13. And of course, we had those 3 first quarter interceptions from Lee O'Haleti that really had us go down very early, but we were able to overcome that, thankfully, and we were able to force 3 turnovers on USC in kind. So after those 3 interceptions from Lee, he was able to put together a game with 283 yards and 4 touchdowns and 1 sack. George Valdez was effective running the ball with 15 carries and 70 yards. Max Martino was effective whether it was through Sim or when I was in the game, as he had 11 catches, 169 yards, and a touchdown, while Keyshawn Jasso had 9 for 71 and a touchdown, and George Valdez 7 for 31 and a touchdown. And of course, Isaiah Matlock only had 1 catch, but it was that 3-yarder in the end zone that allowed us to win this game. Clifton Brown led the tackling with 14 and 4 for a loss, while Johnny Whitaker had 11 and Donnie Haynes had 10. Mateo Polanco had our only 2 sacks of the ball game. The interception from Donnie Haynes, I think, is the thing that really sparked us to victory today, because I got the touchdown before that, but missing the 2-point conversion, I was just kind of down in the dumps like, oh boy, are we going to do this? Are we going to do this? But once he got that interception, I felt the hope and belief start to creep in, so that interception was huge. And Bobby Younger obviously had the ceiling interception there on a fantastic play. And then Ben Schroeder got an interception as well earlier in the game, which was very cool by him. So love when our defensive linemen can get their hands on the ball. Unfortunately, Josh Grudadaria's perfect kicking season came to an end today as he hit that one off the upright. With that playoff victory, Petey Previtt leveled up again, so we're going to get this Tier 3 in talent developer for running backs. If you thought we were going to go a season without playing Texas, you would be wrong, as they are going to be our opponent in the semifinal matchup. So forgot to look at the bracket before our game against USC, but this is how it's been going so far. Nebraska was able to beat Wisconsin, and then they fell to Texas to set up our matchup. USC beat UCF, but we all know what happened after that. Then Penn State destroyed Tulsa, but then they went down to Alabama. Then Tennessee was able to outlast Georgia, and then they couldn't take down Miami as they beat them by 14 points, and that's going to set up Miami and Alabama on the other side of the bracket. Even though it's not an official rivalry in this game, it feels like we've had some run-ins with Texas in the past, and we've had quite the history with them, so now we're ready for the latest chapter in the Peteytown, Texas rivalry.
They're going to have to be able to step up and not only make plays.
And on the first defensive play, we're going to get a sack with Nate Sisco and Ben Schroeder. So our offense started the game not doing so much, but our defense is out there starting with a bang. And we're going to try the RPO play, and we chose the streak with Ahmad Noel, but it's going to be intercepted by Texas on some really tight coverage. Getting in there, Ben Schroeder is in on another sack, and Derek Burr is there to help him clean it up. And we're coming in for another sack as Ben Schroeder is going to get in there, and a flag on Texas is going to make it an even worse situation for them. Probably going to just take the penalty here. Right up the middle, and he's got nowhere to go with it as we're going to push him back on another sack. Nate Sisco getting in there, and Texas had converted on a 3rd and long earlier, but this time they're not going to do that. Didn't quite knock them out of field goal range as they're going to attempt this one here from 58 yards. And the kick is up, and it is through. So they sneak that one through the left upright, and Texas is going to go up 3-0. And we're going to get a broken tackle, and he's running away now. That's Keyshawn Jasso running down the sideline. They're not going to catch him, and Keyshawn is in the end zone. So we give up that field goal, but on our first play of the next drive, Keyshawn shows some physicality there, bouncing off that tackle and taking it all the way to make it a 7-3 game. And they're going to get a big strike, and now they're going to get around our defense as he's running down the numbers and into the end zone. A little bit of a broken play there as they bust our coverage, and Texas is going to retake the lead at 10-7. George Valdez is going to bounce off that tackler, and he's going to get into the end zone, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to use a very nice balanced drive to take the lead again at 14-10. Throwing this one deep, and it's going to be an interception by the Piranhas. Jadarius Fattencoon playing a deep zone there, and he thought he had something down there, but Jadarius took it away with a very athletic interception there. He's done that before, and he's done it again. And a comeback route for Isaiah Matlock, and he is going to fight his way into the end zone. They had a defender there trying to keep him out, but Isaiah was able to get in there, and the Peteytown Piranhas will capitalize on that interception from Jadarius Fattencoon and go up 21-10. Stretch play, George Valdez. He gets the block from Darrell Lawrence in the second level, and George can walk into his second touchdown of the game, and we're going to go up 28-10.
Here's the snap, looking to throw.
And somehow we're going to get the interception off of that. I can't tell if their guy just dropped it right into Clifton Brown's hands, but Clifton Brown was there to make a play, and it just happened to fall right to him, and we're going to get that interception. And Isaiah Matlock is going to get out of there, and he's running down the sideline, and Isaiah Matlock is going to have himself a huge touchdown reception there. He caught that slant, broke off the tackle, and then got a block downfield to spring him loose. And we've had some success with yards after the catch in this one. Guys breaking tackles and really just wanting it more out there. Nice throw from Lee. Isaiah breaks off of that. See if we can see who got the block. It was Keyshawn Jasso. So Keyshawn getting the big play earlier and then springing Isaiah for this big one.
On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball.
And he is going to step up right into Derek Burr, who's going to take him down for the sack. The Piranhas able to work it to the 42-yard line to set up a 59-yard field goal attempt for Josh Grudadaria. He's going to put this one up, and it is through with plenty of distance on it. And the Peteytown Piranhas are going to be up 38-10 over Texas, and we're kind of just sending the message that we're not at their home stadium in this one, and we are really just taking it to them in this game.
We'll see what he can do with the return.
And Taylor Brommel is getting around the edge here on the punt return, and he is going to return it all the way to the 33-yard line. So offense can't do much after that big punt return, and we're going to settle for this Josh Grudedaria field goal, and he splits the uprights again, and we're going to go up 41-10. And coming in again is Ben Schroeder, and that's going to be his third sack of the game, as he's been so active today, just absolutely disrupting everything they're trying to do out there. And for the first time today, Texas is going to bring down Lee O'Haleti for a sack.
It's a sack for the defense.
And back-to-back sacks on Lee O'Haleti as they bring a DB on a blitz there, and they're going to force us off the field. And we're going to undercut that on the interception, and we're going to get a return from Randy Felton, and their quarterback has to be the one to bring him down at the 3-yard line. Just an impressive play from Randy there. They tried a little hitch off the RPO, and Randy Felton read it like a book. And we're going to throw the slant off an RPO, and that's going to be caught by Isaiah Matlock, and he's going to get his second of the day, and we are going to go up 48-10 on Texas, and I'm going to let some backups get some playoff experience in what has been an absolutely marvelous game from the Piranhas, as we've just gone on a 41-0 run here in absolutely dominant fashion. So an absolute demolition of Texas in the semifinal here as we get a 62-10 victory, which included 55 unanswered points from the Piranhas. Just an absolutely amazing effort here from the guys today, and we are going to be moving on to our second straight national championship game appearance. And a nice little feather in the cap for Lee O'Haleti as he's set the Big Ten single-season passing touchdowns record. And more records in the record book for Max Martino as he set the Big Ten single-season receptions record. So those 55 unanswered points by the Piranhas included a 31-0 second quarter that just put this one away in incredible fashion for the Piranhas. And as for the rest of the game, we had 528 yards to their 232. And we had 85 rushing yards and a score to their -1. Amazing day passing the ball as we outpassed them by over 200 yards with our 443 to their 233. And they were 6 of 16 on third down, and we were 7 of 11. Lee O'Haleti bounced back from that early turnover while we were able to get 3 on Texas. So for Lee O'Haleti, after that 3-interception game in the previous one, I was glad that after he threw one here that he didn't compound the mistakes again and instead just really had a great game as he had 322 yards, 5 touchdowns, the 1 pick, and he was sacked twice. And then Barry Benedict has to get a shout out because he came in with the backups and got 121 yards and 2 touchdown passes and no picks. George Valdez didn't have to do much in the running game today, but he was effective when we needed him to, as he had 9 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown carry. Keyshawn Jasso led us with 7 catches, 124 yards, and that 83-yard touchdown. And Isaiah Matlock had 5 for 95 and 3 touchdowns. I think I said 2 during the game, but he ended up with 3 on the day. And Max Martino had 7 for 83. And Taylor Brommel came in with the backups and had 2 catches, 59 yards, and a score. And then finally down here we had Devin Eagles getting 3 for 16 and a touchdown. And I said finally, but we can't forget George Valdez's 4-yard touchdown reception. Randy Felton was out there for a lot of the game, and he ended up with 11 tackles. Ben Schroeder was absolutely incredible in this game as he had 6 tackles with 5 of them for a loss, and he had 3 sacks to lead us. Then you had Derek Burr and Nate Sisko with 1.5 sacks each, and Juan Ivey getting himself a sack. Had some ball hawks out there today as Randy Felton got an interception that he returned to their 3-yard line. Then Jadarius Fattencoon with an incredibly athletic interception. And then Clifton Brown getting himself a physical interception. Josh Grudedaria hit both of his field goal attempts for a long of 59. It will be a national championship rematch as we're going to take on Miami again with their number 2 seed, and it's a bitter rival, of course, so we're really looking forward to trying to get the same result as we did last season against them. Miami ended up winning a shootout against Alabama to get here, so really got to prepare for that offense. It's time to step into the national championship game against Miami with their 95 team overall and 14-1 record, and our quest to repeat has brought us back here, and we're hoping that we're able to get it done. And on the first possession of the game, on a third down play, Miami is able to rush us and get the sack, so they send a little message early there. And we're going to get in there, and Derek Burr is going to bull rush his man to get the sack. So both teams get sacks to end opponents' drives there. And this national championship so far has been really helped out by the defense. I don't know why I said helped out. It's really been dominated by defense, I guess, on the first two possessions. But my mind's a little scrambled right now, just hoping that our Piranhas can outlast this and get this win. And we're going to find Max Martino on our favorite crosser, and he's going to be in the end zone. And the Peteytown Piranhas, after a couple of stops by the defenses, we're going to go up 7-0. And wide open Isaiah Matlock, and he's going to be running down the sideline, and Isaiah Matlock is in the end zone for the Peteytown Piranhas. What a play. Leo Haletti didn't try to trigger it too early. He was patient back there. The offensive line gave him time. He was able to find Isaiah Matlock, who did the rest on the run after the catch, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up 14-0 on Miami. And we're going to get an interception. They try to play action play there, but LaRon Weineke wasn't fooled. He stayed back in coverage and cut off that ball, and he's going to get a return to the 39-yard line. So we were able to get it into the red zone after that interception, but a penalty is going to cost us here, and Josh Grudadaria comes on to kick the field goal. He's going to put it through to make it a 17-0 game for the Peteytown Piranhas. And right up the middle, we brought an extra linebacker to bring some pressure there, and it's going to get home as Derek Burr gets in there again. Another blitz for the Piranhas, and it takes a little bit, but we are going to get that sack. Derek Burr in there for the third time in this game. The Piranhas were able to work it to the 10-yard line and set up a Josh Grudadaria field goal attempt. And the Tekkens are going to be clicking down here, and Josh Grudadaria is going to put that one through. We're going to go up 20-0 on the Miami Hurricanes right before the end of the half. And we're going to get through for a sack here as they try that double play action. And we're going to get back there with Artis Russo and friends. Leo Haletti getting around the edge now, and he is running down the sideline, taunting them a little bit, and Leo Haletti is going to be breaking free for the long touchdown run for the Peteytown Piranhas. Leo Haletti really with an exclamation point play there, and we're going to go up 27-0. And we're going to get an interception there as they try to throw the curl route, and Jadarius Fattencoon is able to jump it, so he's been very active with the turnovers in this playoff run. Gets another one there to set us up at their 29-yard line. After the interception, we've worked it down to the 1-yard line here. Leo Haletti throwing it out to Keyshawn Jasso, and Keyshawn is in the end zone, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up by even more as we're going to be up 34-0 over Miami in this national championship. A lot of pressure coming for us, and we're going to get in for the sack and force a fumble, but they're going to recover it, and that's just going to be a huge 18-yard loss. Ross Moore looks like he was in on that sack, amongst others. Just whole crowd of Piranhas in on their quarterback. To the outside, it's going to be intercepted by Johnny Whitaker. Johnny Whitaker running down the hash mark. Is anybody going to catch him? No, they are not. Johnny Whitaker returns that for a pick six. The Jim Thorpe Award winner showing us why he is that. And we're going to go up 41-0. And I'm going to bring the backups in to have a little joy and bring some experience for them there, and then I'm going to let the starters come back in so they can celebrate properly at the end of the game, but I'll show some highlights if any happens with the backups, but just an absolute dominant performance here in the national championship game for the Peteytown Piranhas. And Miami is going to get a guy in the end zone for the touchdown, so no shutout today for the Peteytown Piranhas.
From the shotgun now, here's a handoff.
Romeo Willingham getting around there. He's running down the numbers, and he's going to get a big run there. And that will do it for the Peteytown Piranhas season now, as we are going to get this 41-7 national championship game victory, and that will secure our 4th national championship in program history. Just a dominant force in this one, and really in our championship wins, we've been really dominant, really just playing well in those kind of games. So really happy that when it gets down to it, the Piranhas can perform in these kind of situations, as Max Martino is going to hold the trophy and hand it over to Petey Previtt for the 4th time in his career, and just very happy with how this season has unfolded as we get our 2nd straight undefeated season as well. So very nice job by the Piranhas, as Lee and the boys are just celebrating with the confetti, and very happy about our season. The numbers show the dominance in this one, as we had 455 yards to their 216. We had 226 yards rushing and a touchdown, while they had -1. Just outgained them in the passing game, as we had 229 yards to their 217, and they were 6 of 13 on 3rd down, while we were 4 for 8. Very happy to see that we kept a clean sheet in this game, while our defense forced 3 turnovers. Lee O'Halletti did everything we asked him to do today, as he had 229 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks, and he was sacked once. Lee was also electric in the running game, as he had 7 carries, 97 yards, and that 80-yard touchdown run, which was just a wonderful sight to see. And George Valdez finishes his career with 16 carries and 71 yards, and Romeo Willingham 2 carries, 55 yards. Isaiah Matlock with a big day today, as he had 4 catches, 92 yards, and that touchdown. And Max Martino 6 for 62 and a touchdown. And Keyshawn Jasso 5 for 35 and a touchdown. Bobby Younger and Clifton Brown led us with 8 tackles each, and they both had 2 tackles for a loss. The defense got 5 sacks in this one, as Derek Burr led us with 3 in his final game, then half a sack each for Bobby Younger, Clifton Brown, Artis Russo, and Ross Moore. Ross and Clifton and Bobby all doing it in their final games as well. And our Lou Groza Award winner, Josh Grudadaria, hit both of his field goals today with a long of 35. With another Petey Previtt level up, we're going to start going down the defensive line pathway for talent developer and get them to Tier 1. Johnny Whitaker was recognized as the player of the game on defense, and Lee O'Halletti was recognized as the player of the game on offense. Petey Previtt got another level up, so instead of continuing to go down the D-line, I wasn't really expecting this, but I'm going to take advantage of it and try to get some bonus XP for our offensive linemen, because we're going to expect some of them to get drafted, so want to get that boost for our O-line and D-line. Recapping our stats from this season, Lee O'Halletti had 4,554 yards, 58 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. George Valdez had 193 carries, 879 yards, and 5 touchdowns, while Lee O'Halletti had 90 for 521 and 10 touchdowns. For our receivers, Max Martino had 132 catches, 1,207 yards, and 17 touchdowns, while Isaiah Matlock had 79 for 918 and 13 touchdowns, and Keyshawn Jasso had 81 for 898 and 11 touchdowns. Out of the backfield, George Valdez also added 53 catches, 555 yards, and 6 touchdowns. On defense, Clifton Brown had 118 tackles, while Bobby Younger had 107. For TFLs, we were led by Clifton Brown with 30, Ben Schroeder with 29, as well as Nate Sisko with 29, Derek Burr with 25, and Bobby Younger with 20. For sacks, Derek Burr had 13.5, while Ben Schroeder had 13, and Nate Sisko had 10.5. For interceptions, you had Bobby Younger and Jadarius Fatton-Coon leading us with 5 each. Then you had 3 from Clifton Brown, then 2 each from Nate Sisko of all people, Andy Wilkins, Ben Hemphill, LaRon Weineke, and Johnny Whitaker. For defensive touchdowns, you had Johnny Whitaker getting that one in the national championship, and you also had Ben Hemphill, Clifton Brown, Josh Linder and Nate Sisko all getting 1. For pass deflections, Johnny Whitaker led us with 17, while Bobby Younger had 14. Ross Moore got 2 forced fumbles on the season, and then you had 1 each from Bobby Younger, Ben Hemphill, Nate Sisko, Mateo Polanco, Juan Santiago, and Ben Schroeder. And when we forced fumbles, you wanted Ross Moore around him because he was able to round up 3, while we had 1 each from Nate Sisko, Josh Linder, and Femi Kiki. Shout out to Nate Sisko for a blocked kick that he had. Nate Sisko also got 2 safeties for us this season. Josh Grudedario was deserving of that Lou Grozo award as he only missed 1 field goal all season in the playoff game, but for the rest of the time he was 27 of 28 with a long of 62. As for our notable guys' career stats, you had Bobby Younger with 251 tackles and 38 for a loss with 4 sacks and 6 interceptions. Then scrolling along, he ended up with 20 pass deflections, and he forced a fumble. For the 2-time Jim Thorpe Award winner Johnny Whitaker, he had 219 tackles, 14 for a loss, 1 sack, and 10 interceptions, with 160 interception return yards. And then scrolling over, he had 2 defensive touchdowns in his career, with 30 pass deflections, and he had 1 fumble recovery. Entering our players leaving stage, we found out that halfback Adrian Grudedario will be joining the Peteytown Piranhas. Looking at our players leaving stage, there's only 4 guys on this list at the moment, and the most notable one will be Andy Wilkins, and might have progressed him a little bit too much as he's looking at the pro draft as a reason for leaving, but we're going to see if we can convince him to stay. And he will not be staying, unfortunately. That really sucks. Another one will be Byron Ezeki that we're trying to bring back, and he will stay, so that's good for our defensive line. And for Tommy Hargrave, we are going to fail on him, so see if there's anything we can do in the portal itself. And then for Brian Avila, we're going to see, and he will not be convinced either. So 3 guys are leaving, the biggest one being Andy Wilkins. Really thought he was going to be here for another year, but apparently 88 overall was just a little bit too high. Since Andy Wilkins has decided to leave us, I decided to use all the skill points to make him a 99 overall, and so that means he'll be a high draft pick, which will just help us. So after going through the rest of our guys and putting some skill points onto them, Jadarius Fattencoon here, just remember him for his incredible athleticism and good leadership on defense. Then of course you got the 2-time Jim Thorpe Award winner Johnny Whitaker taking on a really big role this year as he took on the slot corner position and really performed well there. And you got George Valdez, only had him for a year, but he was a real receiving threat out of the backfield for us, so gonna miss that safety valve from him. And you got Juan Uridia, who was on our offensive line for a long time, so gonna miss him a lot. And then Bobby Younger in the linebacking core, just incredible guy in coverage and just all-around linebacker. Derek Burr really providing pressure up the middle for us. Incredible guy that we had just to add to the defensive tackle legacy we've had here. Ben Schroeder biding his time here as we just have had so many edges that are talented go on to the NFL, and he's going to be the latest in the line of them. At our other defensive tackle spot, you got Ross Moore, and him and Derek Burr just really from the beginning of their careers making an impact in those defensive tackle spots to become star players for us. Focused a lot with Keyshawn Crook's abilities, as you can see a couple platinums there, but maybe could have gotten him to a 90 overall, but I'm hoping that a little boost to him can help him get in the NFL. Keyshawn Jasso, another one of those guys waiting around for a while and finally being able to make an impact. He made some really big plays for us this season. Gotta shout out Donnie Haynes because he was a guy who contributed a little bit last season, then took over strong safety this year, and of course gotta shout out that huge play he made against USC to allow that comeback to happen. So for this senior class, they leave school with 3 national championships under their belts, and their real claim to fame is going to be that they were contributors for 2 undefeated seasons in our program's history. 13 Peteytown Piranhas heard their names called for the NFL draft, and the guys in the first round were our 3 top cornerbacks, as Andy Wilkins, Jadarius Fattencoon, and Johnny Whitaker all went. And in round 2, you had George Valdez. Round 3 was Juan Uridia, Derek Burr, Clifton Brown, and Bobby Younger. Then in the 5th round, you had Ben Schroeder, Nate Sisko, and Ross Moore. The 6th round was Parker Voss, and finally in the 7th round you had Keyshawn Crook, which I'm really happy to see that he made it to the NFL because just a great offensive lineman for us, so he deserves it. For our team prestige, I guess winning another national championship drops you down half a star, so that's fun. So we've signed all of our high school guys, so we're just moving on to transfers to start this transfer portal, and looking at strong safety Matt McMillan with some great athleticism and solid coverage skills. He's a box specialist, which I don't usually go after, but options were a little bit limited, but I really liked his athleticism. As for Max Carmen, he'd come in as a junior, and he also has pretty decent athleticism and 89 zone coverage. We have some talented cornerbacks, but I really wanted some experience at the top of the list, so Dante Shelley comes in with platinum house call and okay athleticism. We could probably get that up if we get him into the building, and he's got pretty decent man coverage as well and great change of direction at 99. Legend Wakeji would be an incredible add for the Piranhas with that incredible athleticism at 99 speed, 96 acceleration, 97 change of direction, and 95 agility. He also has silver house call. Want to see if we can add somebody on the edge as well, and Romeo Clement comes in with bronze quick jump and silver takedown and pocket disruptor, and he also has 95 finesse moves, which is something I would really love to add. Also looking at another outside linebacker, not necessarily a huge need for us, but wanted to see if we can add somebody there, and he's got some abilities with silver house call and gold bouncer and bronze robber. 94 pursuit is also very enticing, along with 88 zone coverage and 83 man. Want to see if I can boost up our receiver position as well, and Frank Hay, his most intriguing thing is that he would only be coming in as a sophomore, so it'd be really nice to have him, and he's got good athleticism and pretty decent route running as well. And then finally want to add to the defensive tackle room, and Tim Mawai is a guy who stood out, and he's a speed rusher, so he's got good athleticism and 85 finesse moves, and for being a rusher he's also got good strength at 91 and 91 pursuit. So the main takeaway from this transfer portal in week 2 is that we're really just setting up visits right now. We don't really have enough information to sell guys on, so right now it's just visits for Matt McMillan and Sam Mayo in week 3, and then Romeo Clement and Tim Mawai in week 4. Alabama's really taking a jump on Dante Shelley, and I think at this point I'm gonna just quit on him because I'm looking at Legend here, and he's in first place already, so want to really go after him with his incredible athleticism. And Frank Hay is also way out in first place, so feeling pretty good about Frank. Matt McMillan has dropped down to 4th place, which is not great for us, so we're trying this week 3 visit now, and he's going to be paired with Sam Mayo, of course, and we added Legend Wakeji to that to try to give it as big a boost as possible. We also have him on a double soft sell. For Sam Mayo, also on the week 3 visit, we got him on a double soft sell. And then down to Legend Wakeji, he actually has his hard sell for us. Alabama really taking it to everybody right now for Romeo Clement, so we're trying a last-ditch effort on a week 4 visit, and we also have a double soft sell for him. Mostly keeping Tim Mawai out there for the week 4 visit so that he can boost up on Romeo Clement. Much tighter battle here for Max Carmen, as we have him on a week 4 visit as well, and we also have his hard sell. And finally for Frank Hay, just putting him on a week 4 visit just because, as he's got a nice lead over all the other teams, and we're just sending the house cautiously. So as it turns out, for Matt McMillan, neither soft sell was his actual sell, and it did help us figure out his actual hard sell, and the week 3 visit kept us in it because it's a close matchup at the moment, and we have his hard sell, which is Hometown Hero. As for Sam Mayo, the visit helped get him into first place for us, and we were able to find his hard sell. And Legend really took a legendary leap over TCU and LSU, and with his hard sell intact, I think we're going to have a good chance at getting this guy in our DB room. Unfortunately, Romeo Clement and Tim Mawai both went to Alabama, so that whole thing with helping them out with week 4 visits is not going to come to pass after all. As for Max Carmen, the hard sell got him into first place for us, so we're hoping that we can hang on to sign him. And for Frank Hay, Arkansas is really making a push for him, but we do have him on the week 4 visit, and we have his hard sell, so I'm not too worried about it. Our first transfer signing is going to be Sam linebacker Sam Mayo. And we're going to get Legend Wakeji, very excited about that. Max Carmen will help us in our strong safety room. And Frank Hay will be a nice leader for us at the receiver position. Now we can take a look at the dev traits of the guys that we signed late and then the transfer portal guys. So Anthony Perkins is impact. Clyde Richard impact as well. Adrian Grudadaria is an impact as well, so 3 straight impacts. Then Sam Mayo, you got a star dev, so very excited to see that on our first transfer. For Legend Wakeji, he's also impact, but I think his athleticism is such that he's going to play above that anyway. Then for Max Carmen, he's a star dev, very excited to see that. Then Frank Hay is impact. And then finally, Matt McMillan ended up going to North Carolina, but as a comparison, he has impact, so I think we got away with the better side of that here with Max. All in all, for this recruiting class, we ended up bringing in 3 elite dev players and 10 star dev players, so very excited about that. Over half of the recruits we got have a good dev trait, so only good things going from here in the future for the Peteytown Piranhas. One day we might get to the #1 class in the country for recruiting, but that is not this season, as we're #2 yet again, and it's mostly because we don't sign as many players as the other schools do, but I like the quality that we get anyway, and that quality is going to come in the form of 6 5-stars and 13 4-stars, along with 4 3-stars that are all very talented, so excited with what we have coming in. For Lee O'Haleti, we don't want him to get any higher in his ratings, because after we saw Andy Wilkins leave with an 88 overall, I'm a little spooked, and that 89 overall is with Tactician Boost. He's really a true 87 overall, so just kind of keeping him there. The only thing I really did was give him bronze mobile resistance and then save the rest of his points. Looking a little bit towards the future after Lee O'Haleti, we got Greg Proctor here, and we got him up to an 85 overall, and we did it by boosting up his accuracy so that all of his accuracies are at least an 80. And then we got his throw power up to 95 and got his IQ up a tick. Then we went over to his physical abilities and got him to gold off platform and bronze mobile Deadeye. The other note I wanted to make about Greg is that with his elite dev, he does not have very many skill caps, just 4 total, so we love that. Romeo Willingham will be taking over the lead back duties at a 93 overall. And we boosted his hand so that his carrying was at least 80. Then we got his route running up a little bit, and the biggest difference was his IQ, as he has 92 awareness and 99 ball carrier vision now. I'm expecting Steve Sharp to take over as our power halfback next season, and wanted to give a little update on how he's developing. He's gotten up to 90 speed and 94 acceleration, and we've gotten his cap on elusiveness, and with that we got his downhill to silver. With an 89 true overall and 91 with tactician boost, Isaiah Matlock has improved his hands where he's got 91 catching, and he has reached his cap in route running, and with that we got him to silver cutter and silver sidestep. Taylor Brommel has reached an 88 true overall, 90 with tactician boost, and he has boosted up his hands where he's got 90 catching and his route running to where it's pretty solid, 91 short, 92 medium. And then for his abilities, we got him to bronze cutter. At 86 overall and 88 with tactician boost, Ahmad Noel has gotten his route running up a little bit, where he's got short of 90 and then 88 medium, 87 deep, and a 91 release. And then for his abilities, we got him platinum sure hands and gold 50-50. For Max Martino, we just boosted him up 1 overall in an attempt to keep him with us. And as for his ratings, we've reached his blocking skill caps. Then we went over here to his abilities and we got him platinum workhorse and gold recoup and gold 50-50. And I really wanted to focus on the health stuff because I noticed that he was getting some wear and tear damage here and there, and he was getting banged up a little bit, so wanted to give him as much protection as we could for as much as we use him. Gabe Bello is a 97 overall, and we got him there by maxing out his pass blocking to be 99s across the board. And we also got his IQ up quite a bit as he's got 90 awareness and 96 lead block now. Corbin Gruber is now a 93 true overall, 96 with tactician boost, and he had already gotten to his cap in pass blocking and run blocking, so decided to reach his cap in IQ, and that's what got him to where he is now. Jason Klopfenstein is going to get highlighted as he's an 87 true overall and 89 with tactician boost, and we were able to get his IQ all the way to its cap and got his footwork up a little bit, and he had already maxed out his power, run blocking, and pass blocking, so I was able to pour some things into his abilities, so he'll have the Platinum Quick Step, which he already had, but this off-season he has Gold Option Shield and Silver Outside Shield, along with that Platinum Quick Drop he had. So I think with the mix of ratings and different abilities that he has, he's going to be an effective lineman for us. Our elite dev guy, Trent Chick at guard, is going to be going into his junior season, so just trying to keep him down as well, as he's an 87 true overall, 90 with tactician boosts, and we got his run blocking up a little bit, as well as his IQ, and we got his quickness up as well. And then we went over to his abilities, and we got him the Platinum Strong Grip and Bronze Wear Down. Vernon Hicks has been biding his time with us, and now he's at a 92 overall, 94 with Tactician Boost, and he's maxed out his power moves at 97, and he's also reached his cap in run stopping, and that's going to give him 99 tackle and 97 pursuit, 95 agility. Then over in his abilities, he's at Gold Pocket Disruptor and Platinum Takedown. Sophomore Sidney Dunsmore is looking to make an impact next season, as he's up to an 87 overall, 85 true overall, and he got there by getting to his cap and power moves at 95, and he's also maxed out his power, and he also got his run stopping up a little bit. And we went over to his abilities and got Bronze Pocket Disruptor, Silver Grip Breaker, and Bronze Takedown. The big man in the middle, Mateo Polanco, entering his senior season, is at an 86 true overall, 88 with Tactician Boost, and we got there by giving him 99 strength and boosting up his run stopping and power moves. And then moving over here, we got him to Platinum Grip Breaker and Bronze Takedown. While Mateo Polanco is currently the best defensive tackle on our roster, Juan Ivey might be the most exciting one, as our Elite Dev Junior is ready to make an impact this season, and we were able to help him out with his run stopping, and we did a big boost to his finesse moves at 93, and his quickness has been maxed out, so he's got 85 speed and 99 acceleration, so big athletic freak he is. And then we also got him Platinum Quick Jump, Gold Takedown, and Bronze Recoup. I believe transfer outside linebacker Sam Mayo is going to make a big impact for us, and we were able to get his pass coverage up to a 92 zone coverage, 87 man, and we reached his cap and run stopping and got his IQ to 85 awareness, 85 play rec. And going over to his abilities, he's got Platinum House Call. John Woodhead has developed nicely, as he's a 90 overall with 92 in Tactician Boost. And then you got his pass coverage to 96 zone. And then run stopping went up a little bit, as well as his IQ. And we got his House Call to Silver. Legend Wakeji looks to lead our CBs this season, as he's got his man coverage up to 87. We also got his zone coverage up a little bit. Then going over to his abilities, he's got Gold House Call. Being a little careful here with Anthony Swift after we watched Andy Wilkins leave us at an 88 overall, so Anthony's going to cap out at an 87 for now, with 49 skill points remaining. And we were able to get there by getting up his man coverage a little bit and focusing on some abilities to get to Gold Jammer. Ben Hemphill also at an 87 overall, and we got his zone coverage to 88 and boosted up his man coverage as well. That allowed us to get to Gold Robber for him with that change of direction, and we gave him Platinum House Call as well. For Randy Felton, he's an 85 overall at strong safety, and we have his zone coverage at 95. Then we boosted up his man coverage as well, and then we really went all in on his abilities, as he's got Platinum House Call and Platinum Robber. I want to highlight Matt Dunn here, not a high overall at 82, but he will be our backup strong safety, and in different formations he's going to come out there, so he will get some PT next season. And we got some zone coverage on him to 88, as well as some man coverage, and his quickness has been maxed out. And then over in his abilities, he's got Platinum House Call and Bronze Robber. Don't really highlight our kickers during training results, but I think our Lou Groza Award winner deserves it, as Josh Grudedaria has gotten his kick accuracy maxed out to 99. So just thinking back on this season, what a wild ride here for the Peteytown Piranhas, going undefeated once again, but it wasn't without its challenges, as we had some close games that we had to overcome and really band together and win those games. And then, of course, we're always going to remember that insane comeback against USC in the playoffs, so those will be some defining things of this team. And of course, winning the 4th national championship in program history is very exciting, so next year we're going to look to try and three-peat here and join the ranks of the elite teams in college football, as it's only really been done once a long time ago by Minnesota, so we're trying to get some history going in the Peteytown Piranhas program. I'll see you guys in the next video.